pause at the start. I didn't know BBQT was actually playing in NAC 3. So for the viewers at home, this is new to me. Everything I'm looking at is very new to me. And I believe people are seeing my point of view, and the zoom is not working. Is it on scroll?
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah. That's right. We got Overlay Guy. His name's Overlay Guy. And we're going to switch it over to the other computer while we sort this out.
So, towards the east, or the west of the map, sorry, in the blue, the northwest, even we do have the Viper. Towards the south of the map, in the red, we do have the Max. Both of them meeting for the first time in this tournament, so I'm keen to see what they can pull out of the hat.
Yeah, so typically, Max is more of a boom-style player. And so he's very much one here who will want to open up with scouts, get some walls up, take advantage of the faster Persian TCs, and, well, boom. Celts is one of the better aggressive civilizations. It's also a civilization which is particularly good against scouts. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Viper go for probably man-at-arms, spears, and maybe turn this into pikes and siege in the Castle Age. A bit of a different look for Viper. Viper can obviously do it, but Viper actually, he's someone who likes to sit back a little bit more than be aggressive himself.
Agreed. Any chance he can get to kind of dictate the pace of the game, just build as minimal units as he can to really hold off and then pull into that late game eco stage that he absolutely loves, is where he's always aiming to get towards.
So as I look at the maps, I think the left-hand side of Max's map is going to be the most important area to look at. So main gold, that's fine, that's wallable, but you have that secondary gold on the left. I think what Max will probably opt to do with his early walls is wall between the wood lines and not to the edge of the map. So I foresee that gold being exposed, that stone on the front being exposed, and those are areas where Viper could probably push. And you'll see the third gold a little bit more to the north of the TC. So this is not so much about early game. I think Max is going to be completely fine in early game. I think it's more so about what Viper can do in the mid game.
Absolutely. And looking over towards the Viper as well, got some pretty easy wood lines to really make some walls with here, which is going to make him a little bit excited. Neutral gold towards the front there, and golds in the back, so always kind of nice. A bit of an opening on this side, does have the cliffs to kind of bring it down though. Forage bushes, everything. It looks like it's going to be a really easy wall off for Viper here.
Yeah, and I guess in general what I want to point out to our audience is just how this will go mid game, because in Viper, if you look to the bottom left, or not bottom left, but I guess left, yeah, right there, you see that hill where the lion is? Go look a little bit further. That hill will be huge for Viper. Then he's got another one forward next to a gold. So I think whoever controls mid-game is going to have a big advantage here. And Persians typically boom, and it's not easy to push them either because their town centers have double the HP. It's not like you can go for the Huang-style pushes with 2 or 3 mangonels and have success. So I'm excited to see how this goes. But Viper's a beast with Celts.
Oh, absolutely is. Even though we did see over at ECL, he did have a little bit of a worry with that one against Liereyy.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I think otherwise than that, where Liereyy was so aggressive, as long as he can hold it, and that's the problem he had there as well. He couldn't actually hold that first push that really came out from Liereyy, so he kind of fell a little bit onto the back foot and then struggled to come backwards from there. So as long as he can hold everything that he wants to here, should be in a really good place.
Does Viper have a mill right now? He doesn't. Oh, what? Okay, so let me back up a little bit. Viper, this is actually like Huang would play. I don't know if people know who Huang is, but Huang is a Vietnamese player who has a very distinct style. He's going for a very early drush, so a few militia will come out. They are faster for Celts, and he wants to hit Max earlier than I expected. There's a villager on gold just to collect 10 additional gold. This is proper build, and we will see that mill go up when Viper's varies eventually, but I don't think Max is expecting this. He's actually been pushing deer, or ostrich, I guess, or ostri. I think it's ostrich.
Ostripies.
You would, what is it? Ostripies.
Ostripies?
Is that a thing?
No, not at all.
All right, I got really hungry there for a second. But anyways, the point is Max might be a little bit blindsided by this. I don't love the strategy, but because still Max is going to be in feudal age so quickly, I expect him to click up to feudal age in a second. But it could work. You'll see the militia coming forward now.
So we've got Max starting to throw up those walls, but like you said, a little bit of an irregular build order from Viper. Super strong to get out nice and quickly. And look at that, we've already got 2 militia just about ready to roll out across the map. If they can get in here before the Max really gets those walls up, that's where he's going to be having a huge issue. Luckily for him, everything is reasonably close to the town center, so it shouldn't be too hard, but these can be really, really annoying, especially when they're controlled by a player as talented as Viper.
Okay, so to be straight with you guys, not that I would ever lie, okay? Casters don't do that or exaggerate or underestimate anybody. But, like, this is really awkward for Viper. Yes, Viper's weakening this villager. He might get lucky as his militia come in, and he might snipe it. Actually, I foresee this villager to die, actually, because he will probably block with his scout. But after that, if Max starts to get... Wait, Max hasn't clicked up yet? I'm sorry. I'm new. Max hasn't clicked... I wonder if it's something that Max saw. Very surprised Viper didn't kill that villager. Max needs quick walls now on that wood line. A Viper wall, then his villager to protect it. This is, you know what? This is not what I expected at all this game. This is not what I expected. Now Max is making militia to match the militia of Viper. He's not going for the standard scouts. I guess he was maybe thinking fast castle. So this might be Drush fast castle for both. Who even knows now?
Absolutely. It's nice to see Max adapt like that, though, so he's putting himself in a strong position here. He's at least getting rid of those militia, getting rid of the scouts. We'll be able to finish his wall off here, hopefully, as well. If he's committed to it, the only thing is, the moment he loses just where this Drush is, that's where he can run into a little bit of trouble trying to hold it off.
I think Viper is freaked to Max out here. What are those militia going to accomplish for Max?
He's going to hang out downtown center, give him like some sense of safety, but it's just resources invested that he's not going to really be able to make much out of.
Yeah. Viper, being Celts, I would say his economy is probably better in Dark Age with the faster chopping lumberjacks. Persians will definitely spike up as their TCs work faster in each age, but you'll see the farms for Viper, you see the second lumber camp, bringing in the Ostropies, and I don't know where Viper will go from here, but this is definitely a wall, fast castle situation for him. And the same for Max. So let's talk about this. Viper has an infantry and siege civilization. Max has a paladin. Well, he has a civilization which can do a lot, but it's an eco and cavalry civilization. So the difference here is if they're both full walling, if they're both playing like this, I think this plays towards Viper's strengths more than it does Max, because Max isn't using any mobility.
Absolutely, and we can even see Viper knows who he's up against here as well. He's scouting out the middle of the map, making sure there's nothing coming forward, nothing weird going on.
Left side?
Left side, though, still open. Drush is coming in.
Oh, okay. Viper actually brought his militia back. I don't recall if he saw Max doing it. Oh, Max. Viper is... I have no doubt in my mind that Viper will not lose that villager. But this is keeping the walls open a little bit. And it is going to delay, so I think this is good. Viper's also getting attacked by Max's scout. However, I think Viper will probably welcome that because now Max's scout is a little bit weaker. So yeah, it's messy. The whole point of a Drush is just to delay, and both are going to accomplish that somewhat. But what Viper's doing now is what I think Max should have done in the first place before making his militia. Just wall. Just build a few quick walls.
Quick walls, make sure it doesn't be more annoying than it has to be, which is where you get your real value out of the Drush. Get a couple of idle times. Look, go for the villager picks if you can find them.
Yeah.
But getting any way here where you can just minimize any effect of this, essentially, again, it's just resources dead in the water still. Good news is he has managed to keep this open for now, but like you were saying, it might be a Drush fast castle scenario, in which case Viper, yep, this one's just coming straight back up.
And so I'm looking at the resources now. I don't love Max's resources either. Can we check Viper's point of view here? Viper's resources look better. He's also sniped Max's scout. Now, that's huge in a game against Viper because Viper will scout the whole map, and he'll get a big confidence boost too, trust me, because that score will go up. The scout also helps a lot in the Drush war. Viper gets a hit, keeping that scout alive. He's going to debate, and Viper ends up with winning this pretty handsomely. Now, do this militia matter now? Not really. And maybe they'll find a wolf or something to lure. I don't know. But there goes Viper with his scout. He'll see exactly what Max is doing. Max will have no clue. And I'm going to make a slight prediction here. I could be off, but I'm thinking maybe Viper will make a few spears and go forward. Maybe.
It'd be nice to see him get aggressive like that, but I feel like he's in his comfort zone right now. It's only game one of the series. He's kind of ready to relax, get some extra points on the board. So it's one of those things where I do want him just kind of... I feel like he's going to sit at home, boom up behind this, and just feel nice and safe, which is kind of his trademark play style.
So if he were to go forward, just to talk about the two differences of styles, if he were to go forward, he would not be able to boom behind it. He would not have strong eco behind it. So it is a bit risky. Especially when you're up against Persians, as I said earlier, maybe that forward does not work. Max has actually made one of his own spears now, just to see what's going on here. But Max is also on the way to Castle Age, and to be honest, there's not a big difference there. Also, this will be interesting to watch. Persian TCs work faster; they work 5% faster in Dark Age. It's like a free villager, and you can see the villager there, and then also a bit faster in Feudal Age. That does also affect the age up.
Yes.
Yes.
Very much so. So it means it gets a little bit of an advantage. So if they're going for the same strategy, like you've just pointed out, extra villager, a little bit extra up into the next stage, could put you in like a little bit of a nicer spot. But the question is, how do they handle it going into feudal? Because as you've said, there's a couple. Sorry, into castle.
Who's going to win? This is getting close. Look at the percentages. 48%. Max is catching up with the Persian bonus. We're seeing it before our very eyes.
That town center bonus.
This is close. I actually think Max will win. This is not really... I mean, it's important, but it's not as important as I'm making it seem. But still, that's Persians for you, man. You lose a villager or two, you're a bit sloppy, and you'll make up for it with Persians.
Just going to note here really quickly, the Max actually coming down with the scout.
Interesting. I think he wants to scout for a forward villager. That, and he understands the importance of all those different resources on the map. Now, remember, Turkman, Viper's golds are not great. That one gold on the left-hand side of his base, that one there, that can be hit by Magnells, that can be ranged. And then the other one on the front's even worse. I think Viper's going to need a castle up on that hill. Because ideally at this point, Viper's probably going towards Halberdier and Wold Raider in the Imperial Age.
Look, it's kind of the goal composition you really want to, and from the interview before this as well, he learned one thing from DauT. He was saying that DauT always had castles on hills. I think he's going to be pretty alright with this one. Good placements of the town centers, though, on the outer edges, so he can protect the stone nice and easy here. And even going on one stone here, so he's really looking at getting that in, keeping that locked down, so he can get those castles up you were talking about.
Okay, so Viper's just going to boom. Okay, boomer. And then Monastery. Alright, so difference now, Viper invested all of his early wood into town centers. He will likely gain a bit of a Vill lead. Now, he is against Persians, but we'll see. And then Max is understanding that he'll probably be a bit behind in the eco, but he wants to snag the relics. Now, Viper has a scout out there. That scout is going to be hugely important. It could snipe the monks. He's actually brought it back into his base. Does he have his own monastery at home? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yet.
I wasn't able to see.
But there you go. Monastery coming up straight away. The man's on it.
Yeah, he's going to heal that scout, I believe. And he's going to use that to the best of his ability to get the relics. So if Viper is able to get more relics than Max, he already is going to have that boom lead. So this might not be bad, but yeah, this is just all about booming, all about economy.
All right, so what's the Max up to back home? He does have his secondary town center up. Still looking for that third. Does have the bonus, though, so we'll be able to not keep up, but delay any kind of real difference we're going to kind of see for a little bit, which is nice. And it is getting that monk out like you talked about as well. Viper already queuing 2 up, so both of them greedy to get those relics nice and early.
Yeah, you'll see Viper's monk heal that scout. Very important stuff. Viper has played this really well. Also, if you look at his Fog of War, he has a lot more scouting than Max does right now. And for viewers at home, 10% of the map scouted equals 100 score. So, now granted, you have a few Vill lead for Viper, but it's not like Viper is 400 score ahead in economy. It's more so that scouting.
And that's it. It's just finding all those staging positions which start to matter a little bit more late games, getting some castles down, getting some towers down, and really just taking command of the map as much as possible.
Max just converted a spearman. He has to be very careful because Viper could send that scout in after the monk now. The monk needs more faith. And Viper dives in, he knows, but Max does have a spear. Can Max use the spear against the scout? Oh, nice little doink there from Viper. This is so important, and Viper could get another one if Max isn't paying attention. Does Viper see it? This is a very hesitant monk. He does not have that much faith. He's like, I'm not really sure. There might be a couple different ways to get where you want to go.
And look at this. We also have another monk already out across the map for the Max as well. But he knows what's out there hunting for him, so he has to be very careful. But we're looking at this forward villager right now.
Yeah, well, beautiful snipe from Max, so he gets some revenge. And that forward Vill wants to take advantage of that hill with some Mangonels. She's got to be weak, but I think the most important thing here is the spears and the scouts. And Viper loses his scout, and Max just wants to... Oh, no, he doesn't lose his. This might not seem like it's hugely important, but it's actually quite nice for Max. It's a nice little position for him to get. But also, you know, there are monks going elsewhere. I think Viper probably bringing in a relic already. There it is, to the right of the monastery, or north of the monastery, sorry. There he is in his way.
We can get there, but I like from the Max as well, he's got really good map awareness here. He knew he was losing out, hit the monk, and then moved out after that as soon as he had a little bit more control. Yeah,
just a lot of pointy boys, lots of pokes, lots of sticks, and can't help but feel like Viper's going to be okay with this now. Max still hasn't built any forward buildings.
I'm just loving how many spears we've got here.
Yeah, so I'm curious on the transitions from here. Because Persians, they're not going to want to comfortably go knights against Celts, who have the fantastic halberdiers, the counter to that. Persians can't easily go for anything else right now. You could start investing into the crossbows. Everyone knows about the Persian crossbows. Oh, Max swoops in. Wow.
Doesn't get it, sadly.
Yeah, Scout's gone now.
Barracks has come up in the front there as well, so Max is starting off his little forward base. Barracks coming up behind that one as well.
Whoa.
So
This is interesting.
Push.
Well, if he's expecting Viper to go for pike push, he could just match that with his own pikes. But it's so Max, man. This is so Max. No other player at this event or in the top 20 of the world would just walk forward and build 2 barracks on the hill. That's so him. But if that's a castle from Viper,
oh yeah, it is. He's looking for that just map security. It gets him this gold in the back here, keeps his entire section pretty much safe, so he's got all this extra lumber to walk towards as well.
Yeah, and if the castle goes up, you can make Woad Raiders, which will counter the pike.
Very easily and very quickly.
Just Max has invested more into Castle Age. Yes, Max has a 1 villager lead, but he just put 350 wood into 2 barracks that he's not using yet. So I think Viper, already has 1 relic. I think it's possibly 2 soon. He actually sees what could be his 3rd relic here. The spears are on the way. Viper, yeah, he knows this is going to be his.
Grab it.
I guess take it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Max. Thank you for the donation. I'll make sure to send you a letter of thanks later on.
Awesome Woad Raiders.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I would take a Woad Raider, but
could you?
This is, I think Max is misplaying this. He's going. He does not know the castle's up. He does not expected Viper to be in this good a position. He's getting squires, which will increase his infantry speed, and he's also. Has he clicked pikemen yet? Is he making an archers too? What? Oh, well, he was.
He blocked that off by accident, and then.
Was that a fully built archery range?
That was a fully built archery range. I think he's had to delete it to get out, and then he's plonked down 2 more.
With 1 scout? Like, it was 1 scout. What is more important here? The future lives of crossbowmen or 1 scout. Ay. And then the scout dies too, so I don't know if that was worth it at all. He's investing so much. And guys, he's making crossbow that still costs gold. Persian crossbow aren't all that special. They're only really good in Imperial Age with that unique tech that Persians have that makes them cost wood. So I think Viper's position is perfect. He will know this. He has a siege workshop on the hill. He'll make Mangonels soon. And I am really struggling to see what Max is going to do against this if Viper gets that castle up.
That's it. Like, as far as it goes, we've got villager count roughly even, military count roughly even. But behind this, more than anything, we've got all these castles coming up, so much position taking advantage right now of Viper. And he's going to be able to just ride this one to the late game, and the Max is already just starting to get constricted against.
I was told to do that.
I believe you.
Okay. Well, Viper, the other 0.
The others, like... Yeah, it didn't work. Don't worry.
It's all right. We got this.
I'm fully
it's fine.
zoomed out. It's fine.
Yeah. Blame overlay guy, all right? Just Dan's game's in the chat. I feel naked without my chat right now, but whatever. It's fine.
All right, so we've got the double siege workshop already. 3rd one getting thrown down, so it looks like we are going to see that composition you were talking about. Woad Raider back it up with some siege, and Viper's out for blood. He's already got the battering rams out, so really looking to take down those productions as quick as possible.
Yeah, I can see some logic in what Max was thinking here, but now he's going to be stuck in Castle Age against an Imperial Age Celt player who will be making woads, making their own siege, and pikemen are just not going to fare well here. Viper is so confident he's fighting with villagers against the Mangonel, and now the Woad Raiders arrive, gets a few conversions, and this is going to be fine for Viper. You might look at the score, realizing that there's some importance to that, and say, Viper's only 200 score ahead. Well, he's invested 1,000 food and 800 gold into the Imperial Age.
He's looking so strong right now. He's working towards that composition he wants. He's got everything up that he needs to.
Yeah.
He's mopping up this forward base from the Max as well. Even confident enough to take out that Mangonel with a couple of villages, so Max needs to find a way to push into this. I'm not sure exactly what he's got to work with right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hate to be negative here, but I don't think Max will GG because he's on his way to Imp, but he's going to be so far behind. mean, if this was a regular rated game, if we were not at a tournament right now with so many viewers and prize pool and prestige, I would foresee the player to consider resigning from Max's position because it's so difficult to get to World Raiders with Celts. You need castles, you need economy, and Viper did it with ease. He also has extra stone on that hill. I expect Trebs from Viper, I expect more World Raiders from Viper, and I expect Viper to be able to handle whatever Max makes. Maybe Max could make gunpowder, Turkman.
Yep.
But the chemistry upgrade takes a long time, and that only works well if you're first imp. And that is not the case, but I do see a castle there for Max. That's an interesting hill
the
for
World
it.
Raiders, though, already on top of the location. Viper knows what he's scouting for here. Max being smart enough to put up the outposts as well, but just look at these World Raiders go.
Yeah. Didn't DauT play last series?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
okay.
this one, man.
Oh, it's Max. I'm
that's
sorry.
it right
Yeah.
there. No, see, at least he deleted it and ran
Yeah,
away.
yeah, that's true. He didn't lose all the stones. Sorry, DauT. He's out there somewhere.
Probably downstairs right now.
Yeah, that's true. He's probably smoking shisha.
So a little bit ambitious, decides to delete it off, brings it back home. World Raiders, though, managed to mop up those crossbows, or some of them, then basically move on forward, managed to actually get on top of the villagers here as well. Just delay a little bit more, which is kind of nice. But this side right here, this is where Viper's really going to be taking it. He's got the trebuchet, so that Max can't just kind of sit back and try and whittle away. So many capped rams now, it's going to be very hard for Max to deal with before he loses all his production buildings behind this.
Oh, I just remembered. Manchester United plays in probably like 1 hour, and Viper, that's why he's taking
gonna
this so
all in
serious.
all of
It all
these.
makes sense now. Okay, these are going to be the fastest games you've ever seen. Viper is building a castle on the hill where Max failed, and now we have a pause.
Quick pause from
Max
players.
is delaying him. If Viper can't see the games, then...
He might just resign out.
Yeah. Wow.
But no, Viper, yeah, definitely looking for the 3-0 then.
This is actually a really good Civ pick from Viper. I think Max did some weird things, but even if Max played this as good as you can play it here, it's kind of rough as Persians. So I like it. I do think that Max made some mistakes throughout this game, and Viper's punishing them now, but...
Look at this as well. Just such good map awareness, taking control
I think he's
as much
asking
as you can.
Overlay Guy what the starting lineup is for United. He's like, is Rashford on the wing or is Rashford up top?
His mind's already gone.
Yeah. Ole's at the wheel.
All right, Overlay Guy. We'll get some details
You
exactly
can
in a
see
minute in terms of
you can
what's
see
going on.
Nili back there. Nili's...
There you go. Hey, Nili. How are you? Very straight-faced as usual.
Yes, I don't know what's going on. There might be some issue, but we're casters, so we don't have to deal with that. And
How good is it?
I
When
mean,
none of these
we don't
problems
have to
are
deal with
yours?
any issues at all.
Always nice.
Game crash, but Max resigns.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All right.
All right.
There you go. The Max has decided it was game over.
Yeah, gotcha. So, I guess there was an issue on Viper's end there.
Yep.
Max realized it was GG anyways. Fair
And-
sport from him, because technically he could...
Could just drag it out a little
Yeah.
bit later, which in tournaments is something we see. Try and kind of whittle down your opponent in terms of their
Yeah,
mental
it was
abilities.
over.
But yeah, good call there from the Max and brilliant play from Viper as always.
All right. So that means we'll be moving on to game number 2. Viper has... Well, actually, Max does not have a win there. Max did not win.
Oh.
Max did... Yeah. Freaking Overlay Guy. Look at this guy.
What?
He's only been working like 14 hours a day.
I know,
That's
and
not a
sleeping
lot.
like 2?
Yeah,
Ugh.
seriously. Come on, man. Get with it. Anyways, so first win for Viper. Next game will be coming up. And what map are we looking at again here?
For
Refresh
game number
me.
2, could be a
Can they
couple of
pick
different
any-
options between
any of
it.
his home maps, right?
Yes, so
Okay.
any of the home maps that have been picked, he has the options of. So Cenotes, or he's also got Golden Pit as well.
Okay, so the other thing I really like about Viper's Keld pick is Celts is not a Civ that he would for sure want on any of these other maps, whereas a Civ like Persians can do quite well on some of these other maps. Maybe not Fortress, but... Okay, so I'm thinking... I don't know what predictions you may have here, but I'm thinking... Could they see that? Could they see what... Oh, they could
can't
see
see
that.
what we see.
Okay. Well, I definitely didn't see what they're going to pick.
I have some very accurate predictions right
Yeah.
now. Unless it's DauT just doing his spin over the civs and going, you.
I will tell you that one of the players just checked the tech tree. So if you're at home and you feel like you're really bad at this game,
Don't worry.
they don't know everything either. All
Don't
right?
worry, half the casting from Liereyy as well has been tech tree. So
Really?
We can relax.
I missed it. That's funny. I got a castle with Liereyy. I'll just quiz Liereyy the whole time. Lierey's happy to get a break from school, and I'm quizzing him. All right. Well, next game has begun. Let's hop into it. Has it begun? It has begun. Perfect. So, again, apologies, guys. I am not used to this whole setup yet. I am new to this. But there we go. Everything seems to be working. I'll toss my earbuds in so I can hear the game. And in the red here, we have TheMax. He has gone with Celts.
You need glasses with these Civ signs. And then down over towards the west of the map in the blue, we do have TheViper as Lithuanians.
Continue, Turkman. Tell us about the civilizations.
So overall, I guess Lithuanians being one of the newer civs as well, did receive a couple of nerfs going in, so it hasn't been too bad for them. And then overlooking towards Celt as well, a civilization we actually did just see.
Yeah.
So again, looking for that pike, looking for that siege, kind of get off to a good start there. It's up to TheMax whether it decides to go for that one town center kind of all-in style play, get down some forward siege workshops, some forward barracks, and really goes from there.
Yeah.
And as far... I'm looking at the maps right now, and Viper's got a front goal. He's got 2 back goals to work with. It is quite open towards the back, but he can wall this off super easy. So I'm worried TheMax, if he does go for any kind of forward aggression, Viper has too many options to really work with.
Well, he does have options, but Celts have some really mobile units. And so this is a lot more open than the previous game. I really wonder if Viper's going to take advantage of the fact that Lithuanians have plus 150 food and possibly go for an early barracks, just like he did in the previous game. I like Lithuanians here. I like Celts here. I think it's even, but if it's standard play and Viper tries to go for scouts, or maybe if Max goes for the man-at-arms, I think the man-at-arms and spears can do a lot of damage. It's what I expected from Viper in Game 1, but he decided to play it somewhere a different way.
It'll be really interesting to see what he decides to kind of put that bonus food into as well. I know I've seen some crazy Drush-style openings with things as well, because he can kind of get away with it a little bit earlier. So it'll be interesting to see whether he decides to play this one quite aggressive again at the start, get himself some map control, then boom up behind it, and just basically transition into a victory behind that.
All right, so Max wasting no time pushing in his deer, and then Viper... not doing the same. Viper's actually coming forward to scout. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Viper will do with Lithuanians. You know, the Lithuanians is probably my favorite of the new civilizations. Doesn't mean it's the strongest. Oh, man, don't even get me started. Come on, man. Don't look... Sorry, that was bad. If I say a cringy joke, you just got to keep working with it, man. Got to keep working with it. Don't be like Dave. It's gonna be fun when I cast with Dave later. But anyways, so Lithuanians start with 150 food, and I just feel like that flexibility is unique. You know, Persians are a civ who have started with 150 wood and food in the past, but.
We've also got Viper sitting right down by TheMax's board there. He's looking for some way to kind of delay him, and he's even moved the scout out a little bit. I like to think, hopefully Max saw that, but I think he might have been a little bit far away with the villager line of sight there. So Viper's looking for that kill at the moment, and he wants to make this quick.
Yeah, I mean, back to my point here for a brief moment. I feel like you can go scouts, you can go men-at-arms. When you collect relics, your cav gets extra attack. This is so sloppy from Max, but great reaction from him. Only loses a little bit of HP on that scout. Could have been a whole lot worse if he doesn't scout what Viper's going for. Because, as I said, if you have a flexible civ, you can do anything. Your opponent will not know what to expect. Whereas with Celts, what I'm normally expecting is man-at-arms play. And it's only 17 pop for Max. Actually seems to be sending a villager forward to build a barracks now. And maybe it won't be men-at-arms. Maybe Drush... Well, hold on a second. That's a lot on wood for Max.
Is also taking the gold at the front there as well. So starting to symbolize that's what he does want to go for, but I don't know, maybe he pushes forward as well, decides to drop some archeries, or probably not archeries, but decides to push forward with it as well.
Well, I mean, here's the importance of scouting, right? Viper sees the villager on gold. I also like how he's basically saying, hey, I see you. I'm not going to attack you, but I'm going to hang out there just to let you know that I know what you're going for. And so this is a Drush play again. You'll probably see walls from Max, and I have to say, I'm not expecting this. Maybe, you know, it's 2 games in a row now. Maybe it is the play, but in rated games, we've been seeing a whole lot of men-at-arms. A Viper with a very fast feudal time, a 20 total population. This is a scout build so far. Can Max get to him in time? I mean, he hasn't even made his first militia yet.
So we'll jump into the POV as well and see what everyone's up to. Always nice seeing the early game. Viper using all that macro ability of his, using all that micro ability, getting those deer in nice and quickly while he's finishing up his walls. And like you were saying at the moment, we'll swap over to TheMax as well. He needed to get those militia out, and Viper's just starting to look pretty confident behind this. But there's the cubes.
I mean,
This is what
you
we're here
are
for.
never going to see a hole in Max's walls. You are never going to see it. Max, who resigned as a Minecraft pro a couple years back, is now playing Age. No, he didn't. I'm kidding.
Are you sure? It looks pretty similar, but
Oh,
I
man.
agree. For maps where you've got
It's
things
so-
like the acacia trees,
Yeah.
oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks so bad. It just ruins the beauty of the game for me. But I spoke to the Finnish team, so I had an opportunity at the ECL LAN a few months back to sit behind them as they were playing and hear the militia from Max. I really don't expect him to do much. But anyways, I was talking to them about it, and it was I believe Ruben Stock who did it first. And I said, Max, doesn't it look bad? And he's like, yes, but I could see my fish and no holes in my walls. So I was like, okay, all right, whatever floats your boat. All about getting the job done. These militia are only meant to buy max time. So keep in mind, a successful drush is if you buy time for yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to kill anything. And this is 4 militia. It's a surprise.
He's invested. Viper going out with a stable behind this as well, so he knows he wants to kind of get in there, poke prod, do some damage. The Max, though, does have one opening. I'm going to check it on there. You keep with the action. I'm just going to check he knows everything.
Yeah. He definitely knows that opening
100%.
is there. If he's still making militia?
Oh, our man.
So I casted a game recently where Max went forward in a team game as pocket position and went for 3 Barrack Celt Man-at-Arms with supplies. And he almost destroyed Fat Dragon Vivi's TC. It was sick.
What a madman.
That cannot be compared to this situation at all. But sometimes casters have to talk about useless stuff. So
And at the same time, though, cool things. We know he's got good control behind his man-at-arms as well. Being able to play
investment
against someone like Vivi as well. But like you're saying, huge investment here. And that's an extra 3 militia back at home he's sending over just now.
But in game 1, he made 3 militia that didn't accomplish anything. Here, he's made 4 militia, and unless Viper makes a huge misplay, I don't see what they're going to accomplish. It will buy him time, and maybe that's what he wants. But
Viper with these scouts right now, he doesn't
crazy.
he doesn't have to engage these militia if he doesn't want to. He can run straight back to the max, try and get that counter pressure in, because these quick walls are all up. Everything's looking pretty safe for him.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this, right? What Viper wants to do is he wants to wait till probably he gets 1 more scout, and then he can comfortably fight this. Viper is not expecting, yes, Viper is an amazing player, but he's not expecting someone to have 7 militia in Dark Age. I mean, my cousin played Age for the first time last weekend, and this is what his games looked like with the 7 militia in Dark Age. But it's going to work here with the walls, and there's another militia coming forward. What is this? So many militia. And Viper, he has not had an opportunity to go to Max's base and to punish him for this. Wait, does Viper have... Oh, that's a spearman. Look at this spearman here. He's trapped. Maybe he could convert that spear into an axe of some kind and chop through the wood. I don't know.
So, the Max right now, nowhere, he's not feudal age, he's still another 100 food from getting away from there. Got, how many militia have we got out? 7 militia on the field now.
Yeah.
And actually starting to take down the production buildings from Viper as well. He's pretty much done with the stable now, so that's not the most annoying thing in the world, but it'll break him in.
Here comes the flex. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You see what Viper wants. Now, it's not worth it. Okay, Viper, it's not worth it. It looks good. The fans love it.
Here's the box.
But, like, so now the Palisade gates have so little armor, and they're also really expensive, so I feel like it's not worth it. But he's sending... Look, he wants a villager for each gate here. And then he's also making a skirmisher. So a skirmisher could finish off these militia if he's able to pull this off. Can he pull it off, or will Max react and make this be a bunch of wasted time for Viper? But Viper builds the gates. Max has not reacted. Now keep in mind, the militia are just meant to buy time. Is the gate going to go down?
The gate, he backs off for a second and throws up another gate behind it, of course.
All right. Well, this is going to take forever. It's 30 wood a gate. But, you know... Oh, wait! He's going to open up the gate!
Viper cracking in on the other side as well.
Oh, now that... Oh, God.
Open the gate.
Oh, my goodness, Viper! Max! What is happening? Now run out! Run out! Hey,
oh! But Viper's in at the max as well. He's got scouts in on the gold. He's denying everything.
No, and Max didn't see this.
He's got nothing there to repair.
All right, so small spoilers because I guess my game slowed down. Or Turkman just thinks ahead. Oh, no! Max! I mean, Viper's much better off now. Viper can get some real kills here. You know what Max thinks is the solution to this problem?
Gates, walls,
Militia.
more militia. Look, it adds up. It's still not even feudal as well. We're just going to add that in. We're going to be hitting about 16 minutes in game before he hits feudal. Luckily for the Max, though, he does have 2 golds over in the back there, so this front denial is not going to be the worst thing in the world. But at the same time, Militia are coming home, and they just need to figure out what they want to do in their lives now.
I mean, Viper sees that the barracks has flags, so he will know that Max is not going for a fast castle now. Max is going for feudal age play. And this can be very dangerous. This means that these militia will be man-at-arms. We'll probably see spearmen behind that. There's a lot of things, but man, how sloppy was it from Max to let those units in? All he had to do was wall behind. He was just too distracted with Viper's gates.
And that's going to happen. At this high level as well, the players are paying attention to so many things, and we're so used to seeing them play flawlessly, but in these kind of situations where there's this much going on and this much kind of wacky strategy at the same time, it's very easy to miss something as small as that. But look
you're
at this.
a little bit less brutal than I am.
I know.
I expect perfection.
The best.
If I'm looking at pro plays, Max versus Viper, no, that is sloppy. Even though I love you, Max. Sorry. But anyways, Viper will definitely need to get a bit of an archer transition in here. And he already has the range. I would expect to see him go to gold, and he's already done so. Like you said earlier, very safe gold in the back there. His base is pretty secure. Now, his Viper's eco is good because he built all those farms after the scout play. And where from here for Max is my question, because he has to break through. If he breaks through, Viper might have some, well, will have some ranged units.
And that's it. If Viper can just continue to kite them around, minimize any damage that we can see on terms of the villages, the Viper just still in a good position. He's got his second range coming up as well, so really going to be able to start to pop up into it. Like you said, gold in the back, relatively safe. Viper's just walling towards his town center, can make it hard for those militia to come through, or men-at-arms now, and here comes basically just the micro on top of this.
I honestly feel like the castle age times could be pretty similar for these players. Looking at the resources now, Viper has 400 food, 50 gold. You look at Max, he has 400 food, 300 gold. I think the difference is momentum. Viper can so easily go into crossbow in the next stage. He's starting to create a unit he would love to use. Long swords in Castle Age for Celts is just not the norm. So I think with that in mind, Max needs to make sure that he does not lose momentum, and that means a faster Castle Age time. And I just heard a market. I don't know what the default market hotkey is, but there it is. And Max will actually click up. So if he keeps these units alive, and then I think goes for Mangonels, Viper could be in a bit of trouble.
And I'm really liking the amount we have seen longswords in this tournament so far. We had an absolutely insane game with TaToH and Viper going at it with longswords, and they just proved how viable they are now, which is nice, especially with supplies in the works. And right now, the Max is just using these men-at-arms as best he can to kind of keep map control. Just make sure Viper knows there's a little bit of danger out there, so he can't move out as much as he would like to, and he's stuck with all his archers at home, just waiting for these men-at-arms to break in.
Yeah, Viper, I mean, I think the key is actually the scouts in the middle, because you cannot go for infantry siege push if you build the siege at home. I really think that Viper needs to use these scouts to find the Vill. That is assuming there will be a forward villager, but I almost expect it at some point. And Max knows this is a risk. He knows there's ranged units out here. He also knows now that Viper has fletching and the scouts. It's probably dangerous for him to be out here in the first place. So he wisely is just going to run away and use that Celt mobility. Celt infantry is so speedy, man. It's great.
Couple of extra spears out for the Max as well. So like you said, being very wary of those scouts that can take map control so easily. Yeah. I think you're exactly right. As soon as the Max has dealt with a little bit of this army or knows where it is, as soon as he's comfortable, move out towards the center of the map, get some siege workshop down, and then really begin his push.
I don't see a world in where Viper allows a forward villager. Viper will know. He's played against these pushes before.
He played against it literally last game.
So spear, man-at-arms, or long swords and siege. I mean, Viper will know that a villager would need to come forward for this to be successful.
Stable at home for the Max as well.
Interesting. Well, it's actually a great move because Viper has a lot of skirmishers. So if you, just a few knights can help clean that up.
And siege workshop as well.
Yeah, so I have some concerns with this. Luckily, the players are relatively close. But as I said, Viper, pretty much with his map control now, is denying the potential forward. Max is getting pike. He has the man-at-arms. Does he have armor? He does have armor. I mean, that's a fight he could consider taking.
I think it's one of those things where the break-in's coming on, but if Viper can get stuck in there, get a mangonel between there as well, that's when things are going to be hard. But Viper, I think he knows it's
He
coming,
knew that,
doesn't
yeah.
want to commit too hard. He knows his opponent's castle, knights, we've got siege behind that as well.
Yeah,
so he's careful enough to get out of there.
This is all before Viper upgrades these units. So there's actually a Scorpion on the way, which I love. A Scorpion, probably a little bit more successful here. These units are getting hit. Now, ranged units on DE are a bit stronger right now than they were in the past because the melee units, they bump a lot. Units block more than they did with this new pathing. But still, at the end of the day, it's skirmishers, and a Viper does not have momentum. So this is a much closer game than the first game. I felt like Viper outplayed Max. Max's strategy did not work well. I think Viper is going to need to go for something else. And what is it?
Cavalry Archer by the looks of it.
Wow.
Pops up some town centers.
Archer.
Gets into that traditional Viper style, get a little bit of a boom going behind it. But yes, Lithuanian Cavalry Archers.
I was going to check the tech tree, but then I remembered I made fun of Liereyy because he was looking at the tech tree, so I'm not going to. But I think they get Bracer and Chemistry. They do not get Parthian. Do they not get Thumb Ring? No, that's Celts.
Whoop. we were so smooth there for a second.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. Viper will try and use his mobility. I mean, Cav Archers can be good. I just forget because we only see, or we typically see Trash and/or Paladins. Okay, they get Chemistry, right? They get
Thumb Ring as well.
All right,
then
it's
to back
decent.
that up as well, they've got Bracer behind it.
I
So he's
think-
looking good.
Yeah, I think the Thumb Ring's the biggest one. It's not the best Cav Archers ever, but it's how you use them. And you see now Viper running to the right-hand side. Max is going to have to slow this game down. He needs to boom, but he does not have fast units. So he needs to get forward and apply pressure so Viper's... No way!
Oh no, he's in.
And Max didn't
even flinch there for a second.
Oh, just passing, no. Oh, that's so bad for Max. I mean, he just gained a Vill lead. He was applying pressure forward, but now Viper is even pushing that back. The presence of mind from Viper to say, hold on, there's a hole there, I'm going to run right through is really good.
It's such a ballsy move as well, because if the Max had noticed that, getting in the town center a little bit earlier could lose a couple of cavalry archers on the way through. But right now, he's controlling the back of the base. We're talking about how nice it was having those golds in the back. He had that little bit of eco behind it, but Max at the moment, he's going to have to push this back.
From Viper. That was so sick from Viper. Use the Mango and the Knight against the Scorpions, then proper micro against the infantry, which is almost a non-threat now anyways. And I think that Max will eventually kill these Cav Archers, but Viper has gained some real value and some real time. Cav Archers are not cheap. Not cheap at all. Viper's Cav Archers are going to die. Actually, you might see a big old shot here with the Mangonel. Boom! Kelt Mangonel's fire faster, but Viper's micro is fast as well, so... But yeah, this is not that important for Viper in terms of kills. It's important now in terms of time and map control, because as he runs around here, as he micro-nerds here, there will be more forces coming forward. Max, expecting that, though, did have a town center in the proper position, so there's still a slight difference in the Vills. The Cav Archers for Viper do die there, and now Max is going to need to push forward.
We've got Viper again doing what he does best, moving out across the map, trying to secure those relics. Monastery already down. Towards the middle, Max goes down with his own monastery as well, knows how important it could be and how easy these can go into a late game scenario. But Viper again, just looking for another way to get those cavalry archers in and just delay the Max any way possible here.
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing, Viper will be on 3 town centers.
Yep.
And he's going to have most of the map control in Castle H. He needs to continue this. As he runs in here, you notice in the center there's another group coming in. That's what you have to do in Viper's position. It's not easy to play. It's much easier to play like Max is right now, where it's very defensive with a boom. But there's a downside to that. And the downside is lack of relics, lack of map control, and the fact that you're not dictating the pace of the game.
Max actually putting down 4 town centers as well, so we'll start pulling ahead a little bit in terms of eco count. But like you were saying, those cavalry archers are just so easy to move around the map. Viper just every now and then needs to get into a good position, take a couple of villager picks, and it evens it right back up as easy as that.
So we've talked about the strengths of Cav Archers and mobility. Viper having 1 relic and probably soon 2 as he goes over here. That will mean that he will get extra attack on his Cav, which is making me think, does he, as the player's micro here, and Viper will probably get a Mangonel snipe. Beautiful.
1 monk.
That's actually decent value for the Max
2
there.
monk.
Well, he lost the monks, yeah. But the CA numbers are going down. My thought is, as Viper micros down 2 more Mangonels, Where does Viper transition from here? Like, Max is going to make siege and infantry, which is what he wants throughout the game. That's what Kelt should do. Viper's going to need to have a big lead in Castle Age because I don't think he wants Cav Archers long term in this matchup. And I also don't know if he wants to go Cavalier Knights in this matchup either. It's really tricky against Celts. But man, these kills that Viper's getting, just unreal.
He's just making such efficient trades right now, keeping rid of all those units to give Max any ability to really kind of push. The mangonels go down, he stops any kind of map control, gets rid of the monks.
Yeah, I mean, good shots here in the center. Viper's just dancing. And he sends in the scouts for the monk, and he will take it. Beautiful.
It's stunning. Like, stunningly good to watch play this perfection.
Yeah, but it's so... Again, not to take anything away, not to take anything away from Viper here, but it's so easy to be in Viper's position right now with this Civ matchup. But it gets more and more dangerous the more he commits to this composition, and Viper needs to run out of there. This is danger territory. Viper did snipe a Mangonel, but look at the pikes and Mangonels. Viper, recognizing there's danger, will place a castle on the front of his base though. So I really want to see the Lithuanian unique unit. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's the one that generates gold when you fight, right?
You're thinking of the Keshik?
Keshik, Latus. Latus is cheap and
Latus is the one that ignores armor, yeah.
Alright, same difference, right?
Close enough, both mounted.
So now my gameplay is not going to be as good as these guys, but the only way to test these civilizations and these units is to play. And I feel like if you go a mix of Latus and Cavalier, it can work against Halbwode, possibly. I mean, the other option, I know Lithuanian champions do not have the final armor upgrade, so you can't go for champ that comfortably. I don't know. I'm just thinking long-term for Viper here. You see the resources to the max. It is climbing. He's going to be clicking up to imp soon, and Viper, knowing that, is trying to avoid dealing with that army composition in the center and also distract the max. He's doing a good job, but Max has a huge, huge snowball coming. This is going to be dangerous for Viper.
Yeah, it's basically about just getting through the next couple of minutes and getting his transition in play. Like you were saying, it can be hard to kind of see exactly what he does decide to transition into, but we're looking at Viper. He's starting to take all the extra gold spots on the map. Yeah. He's divided up his cavalry archers so he can just be as annoying as possible and just delay against the Max as well.
That's good for Max. Nice conversion there. Didn't think he would get that one. I mean, Max has 7 more villagers than Viper. Viper has not clicked imp yet. Max will likely place another castle soon.
Straight on the hill to the north a little bit. Yep.
So, again, I ask, what do Lithuanians do after committing to Cav Archers in this matchup? They cannot continue with Cav Archers against what could be Onager and Halb. I don't think so. But Viper actually denies that castle spot for now, and this is so crucial for Viper. If Viper's going to win this game, if Viper's going to weather this storm where he has to transition, he has to keep Max on his toes. And he's doing it. He's doing it. He'll now hit the stone. Max is responding each time, but Max does not have any control.
The extra barracks get thrown down for the Max as well. He knows what he wants. Viper actually taking straight into Elite Skirmisher to begin to kind of counter this one, I guess, until the Siege Onager or even the Onager come out behind that. But that's it. It's one of those things where he could be taking up into Paladin, but against Pike Siege, it's not efficient. It doesn't really work.
I'm really impressed with how Viper has scouted in this game. He has how many relics? Monastery hot. My hotkeys are different, so doesn't he have relics? 2. Okay, he's 2 relics for now. I think he has one on the way back. That'll be 3. He sees the 4th. He has excellent scouting, and he's also prepping nicely for the rest of the game. And he's getting his unique tech. Which unique tech is he getting?
Let's have
he's getting the newer one, which is... it's all so fuzzy for me.
Totally fair, man. Let's jump over and have a look here. We want to make sure we get it right.
Hill forts? Or do you get tower shields?
So hill forts. Town center's extra range. He's got the extra town centers up. That'll be good. So I always get confused whether it's tower shields or hill forts.
Now does that work if you're not on hills? I'm serious.
Yes, it absolutely does. So it just adds the extra 3 range to town centers. So it means it's going to be a much more defensive location for all of his base, essentially. So if those pikes come in, I guess he can deal with them a little bit more efficiently.
It's relatively inexpensive. Viper has this extra gold. He has this extra gold. The power of the Cav Archers paid off in Castle Age. But now, what is Max going to have in Imp? Treb, there it is. He's teching into Halb. Viper, Viper's making Onager himself. Is that the plan here? He's making Mangonels at least. Okay.
All right, so Viper at the moment, pretty much a ticking clock at the moment before he really needs to engage his force of the max. Because as soon as he gets that kind of the composition he wants, which is basically just siege, help, so basically Trebuchet, a bit of Onager behind it, obviously can go into Rams and things if he wants to push a little bit harder against production as well. But once that ball essentially gets big enough, it becomes near impossible to engage.
So I would almost say it's the opposite. I think Max is on the clock because he doesn't have the extra gold. Viper's snagging the relics. He's actually relocating these relics to a safer monastery. But yeah, you're right. Viper will have to deal with a devastating amount of units soon. But if Max doesn't push these resources that Viper's been collecting for so long, it's really going to pay off.
Absolutely, and that's the best thing we've seen about him. Like, we saw him take that map control so early. He knows where everything is. So, again, even if it starts looking like he's in a bit of a disadvantage in terms of the position, he knows if he just holds out long enough, he can begin to push back when it comes to a trash war.
Yeah. So Viper had perfect mobility in Castle Age. Max had an ideal Celt boom in Castle Age. Max has 15 more population now. He also has more military, and he was ahead to the Treb War. I believe Viper's castle will fall. Viper's castle falls. Now, also this castle, not in the best position for Viper, because Max could make more Trebs from this hill. And again, I ask, what do you do if you commit to Cav Archers with Lithuanians in Castle Age? What is the transition? And right now, I'm not really seeing it. He is getting Cav Archer upgrades, but this is a dangerous, dangerous time to be Viper.
At this point, it looks like he's just really looking for the stall. We saw all the extra building HP upgrades come down as well, so he's really just looking for a way to hold on that hill forts as well. 6+3 range on the town centers, so it's pretty nuts when the helps have to come all that way in. And the best thing as well, Mangonel's only 7 range, so we can actually deal with them effectively as well.
Man, props to Max. I saw him hit Viper's extra golden stone earlier. He's now on this gold, so he's not forgetting about those areas. And this is a typical Max area to build up on the side, go for a ram and halb push. He's known for his sneaky buildings. Now, he doesn't have Onager yet, so his food eco must not be quite there because he's producing so many halberdiers. And that's great micro from Viper with his Cav Archers. And you know what? Viper stabilizing a little bit more. Might have lost the castle, but there's no follow-up push for the Max.
I'd say he just doesn't have the units he wants in the right places now. He's actually getting all these extra production buildings up all across the map, looking for somewhere to push. But Viper sees the Siege Workshop. He knows the castle's there now. Road Raiders at the moment starting to come up from the Max, but he's got no real mass of them that he can work with. Viper just teching into all of his trash, and he's got the letters pretty much on the way.
This is really interesting, though. I have to say again, remember, Max is a slower civ, so for him to find these extra golds is really impressive. And that will distract Viper from the front as well. You do not see that often from a player who's playing Max's style. Max even wants to stonewall these resources in, apparently. And look, he sent a Woad Raider there. Max is in excellent form. If he's paying attention to 3 separate gold spots... Oh, Viper wants the castle here to put an end to it, but I really think Max's chances are good. My concern for him is he has not yet made a push to this gold. I mean, he killed the castle, but there was no real follow-up to it, so he's got to make it happen. I think Woad Raiders would be an excellent switch. Like Elite Woad Raider would be the way to go. Onager could possibly work. I think Viper's castle will go up here.
Yeah, he's got the skirms there to really kind of defend. A lot of pikes, though, so we might see a little bit of a delay on it, but it's going up. It's really the only way we can see here. Viper, though, starting to get the Trebs of his own out, so he will be in a position here where he can start knocking down those castles from Max. And Max has just got to be careful here that he just doesn't get essentially pulled too tight across all of his different lines right now.
So we see a few of these latest, by the way. They ignore armor.
Yes.
How will they fare against Woads, I'm wondering. Viper's also making Bombard Cannon, so he has the Treb, he's the Bombard Cannon. I'm waiting for Elite Woad Raider. I think Max is waiting for it as well. He's producing a lot of helps. You gotta wonder if he should have just waited. Like, have the helps been worth it? Or should he have waited for Elite Woad?
It's just one of those hard things, though, where Viper did have the trebuchets out. He was kind of pushing the engagement.
Yeah.
Max did need to find a way to deal with it, because those castles are also important, especially as Kel's needing those Woad Raiders. But we're looking at these letters right now and getting knocked out pretty quickly by the helps.
See, Guard Tower doesn't make me think that Max is confident in his mobility. It's a great way to slow the game down, but if Viper has Bombard Cannon, I'd expect that tower to be taken out. Where's Max's military? He's 31. It's kind of spread out all over. Oh, and he's going to place a castle on this extra gold. I believe he will secure that. Though Viper, oh, it's quite a few skirms from Viper.
Oh, it's so close to finish,
It's very close.
As long as he just keeps tasking the villagers on it, it'll be fine.
The thing with DE is you can't necessarily do that. Nah, he's fine. He's fine. All right, so he gets that up. The guard tower's up. Oh, and Viper's bombard cannons need to be protected. They're fine. That's so expensive. That's so expensive. It's worth it for Max to get that. Poke it, Max. Nice. I would not say that in any other context.
Also, Viper losing his trebuchets just a little bit further up in the north as well, just to give you a little bit of idea of the grand scheme here. So
yeah.
a lot of expensive units starting to go down from Viper, and the score is just fluctuating heavily.
It is, really. Now, remember, Viper has those relics, but there's a whole lot less blue moving around. And since the castle did go up for Max, the Wood Raiders will clear out Viper's skirms. I think you're about to see a big spike for Max and a big push in the center, which is what I've been waiting for.
Still got the cavalry archers there from Viper. He's trying to find some way to really deal with this, but he's staying in that cavalry archer transition. The bombard cannon's going to be nice for pushing back the guard towers and potentially sniping any of the onagers that come out to try kind of deal with the cavalry archers. So Viper's army at the moment is going to be so micro-intensive when it comes down to the big battles.
All right, so here's a question for you. Who is in more difficult... let's see how I can word this. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to ask a question. I'm going to make a statement.
All right.
For me... I can see how Max could possibly win this game. Like, I could see what his game plan is. I can see where he's going. For Viper, it seems like he's just waiting right now. It doesn't seem like he's confident enough to push out. So that is a bit worrisome for Viper. If he's not able to find a way to push and Max is finding some success, it could be a problem. But as I say that, Viper's getting his other unique tech, which you're going to have to check because I forget.
Absolutely, it's just tower shields. We'll give extra pierce armor to the Halberdiers, but they miss out on the last armor upgrade anyway, so they're just sitting on +3.
Doesn't that affect the skirms too?
Yes, it does.
Okay, because I see that there on the skirms. That's interesting.
Yeah, it'll be 4+5.
And he's also making the latest 12+7 attack because of the relic bonus.
And even on top of that as well, will ignore all armor. Not that the Woad Raiders like really have any apart from their
and Viper's
extra,
rating
but
the gold too. Man, it's like both players can't push, but maybe now Viper getting some important techs. Oh boy, that's not good. These are elite Woad Raiders. Elite Woad Raiders. That's what Max has been waiting for. Viper loses the bombard cannon. Man, I don't know. All I know is this is a close game. Max just spiked up in population. He's sniping another bombard cannon here.
That's just so expensive.
Is this the time? Because I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for his push. Is this the time where he finally does it?
I think Viper's been just looking for that hold here, kind of figure out what he wants to do, wait for the composition from the Max, then push out from there. But the thing behind that means before he can push out against that, it means he has to hold. He's been putting pressure on the castle in the north, he's been putting pressure on the other side of the map as well. But there's this big hole in the middle, and we've just got Woad starting to spew through it.
Max... Can he keep this castle up? He needs to. Viper repairs the trebuchet. That's a clutch repair from Viper. That's really important. Max is also running low on stone. He will be out of stone to repair this soon. He's actually using his own treb to hold. Elsewhere, though, Max still has the golds. I don't know. I feel like Viper's in a tough position, but he just won't die. He's the new cockroach of AoE.
So from there, we do have the extra barracks getting thrown up in the middle for Max, but those cavalry archers just moving from side back to the middle, lending that support wherever they can to really just kind of switch the tide here. And castle over towards the north is so close to down, but that castle has been there for eons.
Somewhere in Norway, MBL's like, yes! He's like, make Viper the cockroach. I'm sick of that nickname. Sorry, MBL. Love you, man. It's probably not the best nickname, but it describes certain situations perfectly. Viper will just not die. And I have to say, the relics are really helping. He has... I'm not used to this. Keyboard... Can you check here? How many relics does he have? He has 2 there? Did he not have
2
more?
in that monastery and 1 in the back monastery, so 3 in total.
Yeah. But can you stop this push? It's now Rams for Max. Woad Raiders, Halbs. Vipers, that's maybe the 4th, 5th bombard cannon he's lost. There's another one. He has no real answer to Rams right now, Viper. He's not raiding or threatening Max in any way. If Max can sustain this production and get that big ball, yeah, here he comes. He wants to push this side as well. I mean, this is danger territory for the Viper, and it could be Max's way back into this series.
Absolutely. Like I said, Viper was just trying to get that hold down. He's been fighting on a lot of fronts. He's just been waiting for one of them to crack. But the Max just keeps moving through the middle here, but it looks like it will get cleaned up again by the cavalry archers.
So I've had some big issues with Max. He would send in something, he'd do something really good. I would say it's really good. And then it just stops there. So if that's the case, if he's not able to get follow-up armies, I really think he needs to be more patient. Because now he's at 30 military again. So maybe be patient. Viper's not threatening you. Well, Viper's trebbing on the right, but... just wait, because I continue to expect more Rams and Woads and more Rams and Hounds. It's not happening, and then Viper bounces right back. And Viper, actually, a way to come back into this game is start taking out the flanks from Max. He worked on taking the castle out in the north. He's now working on taking this castle out in the south. If he does that, then maybe he can raid here with those stable units. Where is it, Max? Where is it, dude? You have 145 villagers. Is his eco imbalance? No, he has food.
Man, Viper's just getting so close to pop as well. Less villages, so he's up to over 70 military now. He's just been draining Max of everything, and like you were saying, all those small pushes from the Max, units just dying, not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
It means Viper's been able to get into this situation now where essentially we're just waiting for him to crack one of the flanks and then move in from there.
Exactly.
He's just probing for weakness.
But I think Siege-Ram could make the difference. I've loved how Viper has used the latest against the Rams every time. With the 12+7 attack, they do really nice damage. But with this many Siege-Rams, if Max has the follow-up with Woads and Halbs, which he does not, and it's really frustrating me, then he could push this castle. These things produce pretty quickly as well, I believe. The latest. Max, where are the Woads, man? Where are the Halbs? There they are.
A lot of me wants to ask, though, if it ignores the -3. Like, just out of curiosity, because I actually don't know that fact.
What'd you say, sorry?
On the battering rams, they've got -3 melee armor.
Yeah.
I don't know if it ignores that or not. That'd be really interesting to know. Try Murakanye or someone. Hook us up with that info later.
Yeah, I mean, all I can see is that they have 12+7 attack and the Rams die pretty quickly.
No way!
I don't care. I don't care about anything else. I just care about what happens in the game.
So again, those siege ramps just looking for somewhere to do some damage here.
Yeah.
Cavalry archers, skirmishes, they're gonna whittle away slowly, and the Max actually backing up with them as well. Trebuchet coming forward for some reason though, and that just feels a little bit game, but sure, why not? Go for it.
It's a worrying sign, man. This has been the theme. Viper will not die. Max will not kill him. I mean, if Viper loses this game, he's gonna say, I played fantastic.
I did everything I think I could.
It was, exactly. I held on for a very long period of time. If Max loses this game, he's going to say, I should have won.
Absolutely.
I was in a winning position with Siege Ram and Infantry, which is what you want as Celt. I should
Castle
have
on the
won.
south does go down as well, so Viper has cracked one of the flanks now. Halberdiers are moving into the wood line of Max.
Yeah. It's falling apart for Max. It is falling apart. This is not good. This is not good in a best of 5 either. For your confidence, he'd go down 2 games. Well, that was interesting. Thanks, DE. But a Viper swoops in with light cav, and he will not snipe that trebuchet. And the Siege Rams do finally make it to the base of this castle. They might swap sides a little bit here. I'm really interested to see what Viper's able to do on the right-hand side. I see Max has upgraded to keep, which is a nice move.
And again, Max just trying to even out the flank situation at the moment. Looks like he should hold this relatively well. He's got the trebuchet, 3 siege ram there. So Viper doesn't have a lot of answer to that right now. And so much of his army is just choked up.
And so much of his army died to the castle on the right and the keep. Is this it? I want it to be it. I want this to be 1-1 if you can't tell, because Max has played well. I think he would deserve it. Viper's played well, but he's at a disadvantage, civ-wise. Oh, and the Siege Ram clutch snipes the bombard cannon. It's not the first time we've said that. Max, you have the population lead now. You have 30 more population. You just need to get units to accompany your Rams. That has been your biggest weakness throughout this game.
He keeps throwing extra production up behind this push as well, so he can just keep getting units in there. With Viper, again, microing those cavalry archers best he can to deal with the halbs. But look at this, though. The Max taking that extra bit of gold up on the north, just a little bit fire up on the battle. It just makes things so easy for him to have a little bit of that extra resource in there that he can really start to abuse.
Hitting and running in Castle Age is fine, because there's never going to be a game-ending push if you run back to your base. Hitting and running in the Imperial Age is a bad sign because, well, at least when you're running back into your own base, right? Because your opponent's trying to finish the game, you're only surviving. I really think that Viper's only way now is with Hussar raids, because he has to use his mobility more. That's the one advantage he has. So I'd like to see, as he pays attention to this gold, man, they've swapped this gold hundreds of times, but I'd like to see Viper get some Hussars into the farming eco. I'd like to see Viper sneak villagers and build stables in the corners. There's a lot of areas for Viper to run in. I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet.
He's doing a really good job in terms of the Max as well, kind of trying to lay out his base. He's got all those castles around the outer perimeter, but once you're kind of in the back there, it's just town centers and farms.
Man, Max's follow-ups. I mean, it's a combination of Max not following him quick enough and Viper just holding. holding on. Because again, you know, he had a 30 population lead. Now Viper has just as much, and Viper has, if anything, he's ahead on this side, right?
Yeah, but look at that unit queue we've got there from Max as well. There's just so many units ready to pop. Viper, not exactly struggling, but the Max has just got so many production buildings down, this huge bank of resources it can keep dropping into. Viper's starting to dwindle a little bit more behind this, so as long as Max keeps up the push, he should be in a good spot.
Viper needs to hold here, as he has been doing, and get units into Max's eco. If he gets 5-10 Hussars into the eco, if he can afford the population space, it's huge. And we've seen the danger in just sitting back, so I'd like to see him... In fact, I'm very surprised he doesn't have stables on the other side of the map, and that he has not tried to send Hussars to these woodlines yet. Really, really surprised.
He's tried to sneak a couple through, but hasn't really got past the castles yet.
Yeah.
So that does make things a huge issue for him to actually be able to keep getting away from this front. Because the Max is basically just kind of moving forward when he's got enough army, then pulling back to the castle.
So I don't know how loud the music is for viewers, but it's just funny to me. We're like, brutal battle, brutal best of 5, and then the music's just so happy. Yeah. It's war is fun, guys. War is happy. Let's go. Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's what I've been waiting for. Viper even wisely pulling over skirmishers to possibly snipe any helps. Now, his units did not engage initially, and Max reacted to it, but I think that's what he's got to do.
Yeah, it's just about whittling down that economy at the moment, making sure the Max just can't keep putting up in the fight. Because in the middle there, or more towards the north of the battle now, they're just continuing to throw just units into the fight, into the scrum. And whoever stops producing first is going to lose ground. It's a matter of taking that ground, drop down more production buildings, and then keep pushing.
The Lithuanian skirms have done an amazing job for Viper in this game. That unique tech on them, the extra speed, or is it extra speed, extra armor?
Extra armor.
I think the extra speed is a team bonus. But the armor's paid off, or just the lack of World Raiders from Max.
Behind that as well, another thing to remember from the last patch, if you haven't thought about it. Oh,
sorry.
it's just important, do it.
I saw the Ram get a kill, but anyways, continue.
Just noting as well that Hussars did lose the relic bonus as well, so not as overpowered as they used to be. So still going to be able to do good damage, but nowhere near as bad as it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're past an hour. Casters have already said what needs to be said. It's just a matter of saying it in different ways.
But we're just moving up to the north there, kind of getting a little bit more, I guess, area, like you were saying earlier. Throw up some extra stables over there, start just spamming in the Hussar. It's really Max, just got to hold this area, and if he can't, it's game over pretty quickly.
There's been so many opportunities, so many times where I have said, Max, this is your opportunity, and Viper has held on, or Max has just not had enough to finish him off. And so it's starting to feel inevitable now. As Viper begins to raid the wood lines, use that speed we know he has. Even though Max has the population lead, I haven't seen enough to really have faith that we're going to see a big ram push. And remember, Max does not have the gold to make a lot of wood raiders now, because he doesn't have the relics. And he also... Rams are not cheap.
No.
So if it's just Halves versus Skirms Hussars, I think the Skirms Hussars would be better.
Viper's even starting to get his own Rams out now as well, so we will be able to start pushing back this production. It's just a matter of who can hold it the best, and like you've said already, it's just waiting at the moment to see who's the first one to drop some ground and if the momentum carries on.
Viper has a whole lot of food, 1,600 food, and I'm seeing the text come in now for infantry, so he will possibly consider going for champion. Yeah, Lithuanians do get champion. Champion will be an even better move against the two-handed swordsman. It's crazy to me how high Max's population is. I refuse to believe he has 200 population now, yeah. Here are his resources. I think he needed more woads earlier. The woad raiders would do very well against those skirms. Here, just a few of them are doing well. Max has 30 more pop. Where is it, Max?
He's down in that south corner as well, trying to push as much as possible.
Yeah.
But between that, he's just slowly taking a little bit of ground, then being forced back.
Man, they're both cockroaches. No one will die in this game. I wanted Max to do it. I wanted to see the 1-1. Then I wanted Viper to do it because he was at a real disadvantage when he was transitioning to Imp. This is so close. This is so close. What happened to Viper's pop, though? Did he lose eco?
Still 108 villages across. Doesn't look like he's been really touched too badly there. Only red dot in his base is a barracks, so people can stop complaining about not showing that off.
I'm thinking he might have deleted some pop, like deleted some vills for... Nah, that wouldn't make sense. I don't know, but it's 200 pop for Max.
And that's where this is really going to start making that difference. Take that area we were talking about. He keeps just trying to drop more and more production buildings in it, really kind of cementing it as his, more trips to the front line.
There it is. There's some Hussars into the farms. Now, Viper hits probably the worst area of the farms first because there's a castle there. Sorry about that, but I wanted him to do this. Should target the woad first. He's probably focusing on other things. Wow, Max reacts instantly. That's what I wanted to see. This is what I wanted to see from Viper. That's what you expect from him. Viper's at 140 pop.
It's going down so quickly. He's got a lot in the queue, but at the same time, he needs to get that population back up. In the queue doesn't help you. Right now, Max is pushing from pretty much every which way. He's just massing up more helps in the south for another push against that castle.
You know what?
Towards the north, he's doing the best he can up there as well. Just hold.
They're running out of areas for wood. If you look to the Max's corner where he is getting hit by one Hussar, this is what one Hussar can do. You don't look, and then all of your eco dead. I mean, this could go a long way for Viper. But anyways, there's not a lot of areas for them to chop wood. Viper's only area is here.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Viper than I am the Max in this situation.
I mean, I've also said that a lot. But yes, Max finally, is he gonna do it? 195 pop. That TC, what is that TC range? It's a longbow TC. I've actually never seen this tech in use before. That's ridiculous.
Lit Woad Raiders in the eco
crazy
as well, trying to find whatever they can, knock off that villager production, any kind of military production with the eco there from Viper.
Max just wants the
population down 140. It's just a matter of outmassing him and making sure he can't pop back up in time. And it's just a spearhead in the middle of Viper's base right now that he just does not have what it takes to deal with.
I don't think two-handed swordsmen are going to do it. The elite Woad Raiders are way better. Wow, is Max finally doing it?
Relics are out now as well.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 relics are out. Kelt Halb so quick, Woad Raiders so quick. The spam will continue for Max. Man, Max is at 85 military, Viper's at 20 military. There's no way back now. There's no way back. Viper held on. He doesn't have the resources to catch up in population. He does not have the resources to make another 50 units.
And that's it. It's just a wave of red now flowing straight through Viper's base. Viper, he can clean this up, but by the next time he does, he's going to be so low on population.
Yeah.
The next wave from Max will already be there, ready to go. This is a GG.
And you have to say, sick play from Max. We saw it in early imp, but we didn't see it for a while, where he splits up his units like this. He doesn't just have one group. He has 3 or 4 groups in separate areas. And as he's doing that, he's probably going to produce from here to hit this area, which he has not hit yet from Viper. It is like... There's just blinking lights all over the minimap for Viper, and that magic number of population that you normally reside at is 100. He knows for sure he's out. He doesn't have the relics. Max finally wins. It took so long, but he got the job done.
And that's all that matters here. It is evened up to a 1-1. Could go to an all-game 5 series at this point. Max really showing how strong he is in terms of his play. Delaying a little bit in the center there with his kind of initial push.
Yeah.
But he managed to eventually stomp through what was left of the Viper.
I'm trying to think about what Viper could have possibly done different, and the only thing that comes to mind is earlier raiding.
Yeah, raid a little bit
holding
earlier,
for too long.
Use that little bit of a distraction and knock down some of those castles, take some of the middle map control back, and then push out from there.
I agree. So here's the difference in the economy. You can see the difference between Celts and Lithuanians. 63,000 food collected, 58,000 wood collected for Max. Viper had more stone and more gold, but that was not enough to make the difference there. 99% of the map was explored by Viper, so he knew where he could possibly raid. And then Max had 95% of the map explored. That was a grind. That
159 villages at one point there for the Max
grind,
as well.
Man. Ay. Like, I thought Max was going to throw. I thought Viper was going to throw. It was just all over. What a good game.
All right, so the next game will be booting up. This is one of Viper's home maps at this point. He basically does have the choice of Fortress Regicide or Serengeti. What do you think he'll kind of take at this point? Is there one you think he's going to be a little bit more confident on versus the Max?
Well, I don't think there's ever a time Viper's not confident, to be honest. But I think he saves Fortress. I think Fortress he would probably save. Because if you think about it, Fortress, there's not a lot that can go wrong in early game. So you don't want to give Max an opportunity to get 2-1 up. Players are going to be normally pretty close there. So
Viper tech in the check tree as well, seeing what's on there.
Beautiful.
And what are we seeing from him? Inviting over our mate, because this is how games get played.
Yeah, I think he'll go... What's he have? He has Mediterranean. I think he'll go Mediterranean. I think Max will go Persian. No, wait. He went
looking
Persians.
at Serengeti or Fortress in terms of the map as well.
Sorry, the bands are there.
Yeah,
My
all
bad.
good.
I mean, Serengeti and then Aztecs. Serengeti is like Arabia, except it's more open. So any very aggressive civilization.
Yep. Those acacia trees as well. So the max cube mode going to be looking pretty sweet in there.
Yeah. I honestly,
It's tactical,
I would prefer,
guys.
I would
Tactical.
prefer to look at the acacia trees. I mean, sorry, his block mod than the acacia trees. The amount of holes that I and others have had in walls because of those trees. I need chat. Type a 1 in the chat if you hate the acacia trees. Hold on. Actually, don't do it yet. I can't interact
It's right
with
there,
people,
man. It's right there.
Oh.
You got it there, and that's a lot of ones.
There we go. I can kind of see it.
Some twos though. I'm surprised by the amount of twos.
Yeah,
actually.
I know. There's always people who want to go against the grain. They're
Yeah,
like,
true.
haha, you know,
Make it a competition kind of thing.
T90's farm suck, mine are perfect. You know,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. Also, there's people who apparently cannot hear because we definitely didn't say the 5.
We didn't ask for emotes as well. What
Yeah.
are these things? Pictures in the chat?
All right, so tech tree, is that Viper? That's Viper.
Viper Tech and
Viper
Tech Tree.
Oh, it's all right. He's just a silver boy. He's just a silver boy. So,
What are we after?
interesting. Okay, so makes me feel very good that the pros are checking the tech tree.
Hey,
What,
man,
why
going
would you
into
check
a tournament,
though? Like,
they want to
what-
double check.
He's played that Civ hundreds of times. Is it like monk techs probably?
Oh, here we go.
He's debating
really
us right
teetering
now.
right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. He's like these guys. He's gonna rewatch this and laugh.
We're going to see another Vietnamese match?
Well, on Serengeti, no.
No. I'm surprised we
No.
saw Vietnamese once.
Yeah, it makes sense. It kind of makes sense on Regicide Fortress.
That makes a lot
If
more sense.
you know that the Mayan player is going to completely forget about the fact that Eagle Warriors exist
in general?
then you go Rats and Archers.
And it
so,
worked.
LaaaaaN, I know you're out there. Good pick, because I don't know what DauT was thinking in that
That
one.
was crazy well played by LaaaaaN, too.
It was really well played. I don't want to take away from LaaaAN's performance, but everyone in the room was just screaming like, Eagles, Eagles. All right,
All
you ready?
right, so it looks like Viper at the moment has picked Fortress by the looks of
Okay.
things. So we'll be moving in with one of his favorite maps in terms of his actual home position. And it looks like we do have Aztecs versus Spanish as well.
All right, bear with me. We'll get into the game. Wow. Aztecs for Regicide Fortress. This is interesting. I was not at all expecting Aztecs. You've seen Mayans a lot. You've seen Chinese a lot. Is there a big reason that comes to mind that you would choose Aztecs over, say, Mayans or Chinese?
Again, over Mayans, not really, because if you're looking for those Eagle raids, you've got
Yeah.
El Dorado from Maya, so it's going to be so easy to just get in there, do the raiding. Unless he's expecting to go super late game in terms he can grab the relics, that'll help out a little bit. But in reality, I don't think you're hoping for it to get to that kind of late game situation, right?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this game will go. Let's just put it that way. Try and get us onto the correct point of view. Kings are going to scout on Regicide Fortress. You start with a king. It's one of the most ridiculous things because kings are, well, they're big boned. Let's just put it that way. And yet they're really fast. This looks awesome on DE, though. Man, that is a thick boy right there. But anyway,
nice
so
headrest.
you'll see players scout with kings in the early game. You start with additional villagers. You start with pre-built farms. And normally it's fast castle. Now, the best Regicide Fortress civilizations are civilizations, a nice play from Viper to weaken the board with his TC. But they're civilizations that benefit from starting with a castle. So the fact that Viper has gone for Aztecs is kind of peculiar for me because he's, sorry, not going to go Jaguar Warriors, even though they look really cool.
We have seen a couple of matches actually where they have come into play,
Yeah.
but very niche situations.
Exactly, yeah. It's good against, other infantry units. And Spanish are definitely not going to do that. Spanish are probably going to go for those conquistadors. I think we're going to see a whole lot of Wololo. I think we're going to see a whole lot of red turn to blue in this game if Viper wins, because you need to use some bonus from Aztecs, right? And probably the monks.
Yeah, I guess a Monk Siege push is probably what we're most likely looking
Yeah.
at here if he does decide to go for it. something extra to kind of note as well, the Max's map generation.
Yep.
All the towers towards the back of his base. That's going to make things a little bit easier for Viper at the front as well, if he does want to go for that kind of Castle Age siege monk push.
Yeah, Max will not be happy to see that he has this map after seeing that Viper is Aztecs. The main gold is forward. This gold is outside the walls. This gold on the left, he might opt to choose, actually. Maybe wall between the wood lines. I think that would be a smart move.
Viper actually already starting off with 2 golds literally walled in the top of his base as well. I mean, extras or trade.
It's a tournament and it's Viper. Where would we be without a good map, right?
Yeah, true.
That's all it is. He's not good at the game. But I swear, like, we got to go in there. We got to check for the thumb drive, man. I got to get a copy of that. Jeez. But yeah, I mean, that's a relic, man. A free relic is Aztecs. You get 33% more gold. The hacks, dude. The hacks. But imagine if Max's castle was forward. It's so unlucky. If his castle was forward protecting the gold, he would feel a whole lot more comfortable. Viper's already on the way up with his fast castle play. And like I said, probably boom, monks, and then from there, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how he plays that, because like you were saying, it wasn't one of those things we were kind of expecting in the pick, just to see exactly which way he does decide to take it.
Jeez.
But look at that boy run.
Wow.
Looks like you're having the best time over there.
Yeah, I mean, that is some excellent form.
That's one good waddle.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to say. Definitely wasn't going to say something else. But, all right, so Turkman, we have not had a chance to catch up much because I just arrived. And I've pretty much exhausted everything I want to say because they're going fast castle. So how's your experience been so far? How long of travel was it? All that good stuff.
For me, it was like 2 days worth of travel because I got stuck in Dubai for a night, which is something you don't want when you're on the way to another country and you know what Dubai water and Dubai food's like. So definitely been stressing out. I was going to get a little bit sick overall, but it was a long trip. But at the same time, NAC last year was just so wonderful. It's amazing to see all the pro players, all the casters get together. And it's just such a good vibe out in the living room as well. Everyone's out there sharing strategies, sharing with each other in terms of what they could have done. Losing a match always sucks, but you always walk out to people saying, it was a good game, man. And even if you don't believe it yourself, they're there to help you out, stand you back up as well. We've got Florian the cook here. We've got Overlay guy, who are just good people in general. So it's just a good experience for everyone. And then we've got the meet and greet coming up as well. Just exciting times for the entire community.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so I was not at the first NAC. I was not at the second NAC. It's pretty much my impression, right? You know, this event is more than just Age of Empires. It's more than just prize pool. It's more about like the community, right? It
does a great job.
Yeah, it's so cool that I'm able to hang out with so many people. It's the first time we'll be able to cast with Dave, who I've known for years, in a LAN setting. But yeah, all of these people, we're all friends, even though we compete against each other, or the players compete against each other, that is.
Yeah,
so.
like I was saying, it's just such a warm environment out there. Everyone's willing to help everyone out, give some strategy talk and things, which it just embodies the Age of Empires community really, really well. It's competitive, but at the same time, it's nice and you're happy to be a part of it.
All right, this is getting too feelsy. We got to move on. This is too feelsy. Man.
Flick that tear away.
All right, so Max, he is 25% of the way to the Castle Age, and Viper is 50% of the way. The reason for this is because what Viper's going to make is going to be more suited towards a boom. He doesn't need a lot of floating food. He's not making something like Conquistadors. So I expect a monastery or two, but that's going to be the extent of it. Whereas Max is going to boom all right, but he's also going to make the Conquistadors. So he's gone up a bit later, so he's able to boom and make those units. But what area of the map can he really take with his conks? Regicide Fortress is normally about fast castle, taking relics and map control. Viper has the perfect map. Conquistadors won't deny anything except maybe a few trees.
Yeah, looking around the map overall, as far as the Conquistadors go, they can go out, take a little bit of map control, kind of deny those relics as best as possible, but the gold's literally as far back as it's going to get, all the woods, things like that.
Yeah.
There's this one wood in the front that's under Castle Fire. Conk's going to be able to get on the other side of that and do some damage.
Yep.
But that's pretty much about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even if the Aztec player gets 2 relics, and we're talking minimum, then you're fine. Ideally, you get a lot more, but Viper has 1 freebie, and then he will grab this one next, and I don't see how Max can stop that. But, you know, these 2 are relics that Max can certainly take. There's another one over here, which he's on his way to scout. So there's potential there for Max, and maybe he could follow up his Conquistadors with Mangonels. What do you think about Aztecs versus Spanish in the late game?
In the late game, if because depending on the transition overall, the Eagles are really good in terms of their momentum and their ability to do it, but you can also tech into Paladin pretty quickly, depending on your eco setup with Spanish as well, so you can kind of lock that one down very, very quickly. Aztecs as well, no access to help, so it makes things a little bit harder to kind of deal with that Paladin spam, but that's the thing, the Paladins are just so hard to get to if you don't have the eco to back it up, which is the big thing. So it'll be really nice to see if the Max can get there, get all that kind of Spanish tech out, use all his gunpowder, and really start a big push behind that one. But Viper, if he gets into the eco, does a little bit of raiding, it kind of denies that very, very quickly.
So you know how in the previous game, Viper had the map control with his mobility, and then Max kind of sat back, and then he had that big, strong push in him? It's going to be similar here. So Viper's going to have the Relic to work with. He's going to have faster TCs, so faster boom. You should notice that he will... There you go. He's a villager ahead. Just a slight advantage with economy. Max is going to be the one this time who needs to use his mobility. And yes, the relics are unfortunate for him, but he can take these two. There's also one in this corner that I'm not sure he's scouted. And then I think even more important than that, these golds. It should be an area that Max locks down. Locks down. Woo! Glad I caught myself
That's one
on
of those
that
things. We should hopefully see a castle come up there eventually, take that map control.
That's what I'm thinking.
And get into a position where he can just hold on to it until basically he's ready to push from there.
Oh man, what are we, game 3? I have another best of 5 after this?
Game 3. We're going to check some POV. That's what we're going to do. POV when we run out of things to talk about.
This is probably the least exciting situation to go to POV because they're just booming, but actually,
look,
hold on.
Rather than just watching, we may as well see what they're doing about it.
Viper sees the relic. He's on his way there. Let's go to Max's POV.
I'll bring it up for you, sir. There you go. Cubes.
Oh, you know what? This is great. That's a town center, right? How does he play like this? Max! I mean, I can't, but that, I believe, is a town center.
Yes, coming up just on the stone.
Notice if you look to the right side, bottom right, Max's minimap, he does not see the relic Viper's about to get. So, unfortunate there that he did not scout that. Anyways, I can't look at this. Let's get back to the game.
All right, back to the game.
Oh, yeah. I love the fact that there's players with so much there's so much individuality in this community, you know? You have the different personalities with their trash talk, you have the different play styles, and then you have the different mods.
The mods are exciting.
Crazy.
Who was it? I was watching Yo the other day. He still has a Christmas mod on as well.
Really?
Yeah, still Christmas mod on. It's absolutely beautiful.
What a festive guy. That's funny. I'll have to ask him about that. Yeah, Viper will have 3 relics. Now, 33% more gold per relic for Aztec, so this is huge for Viper. He definitely will have an advantage in late game with relics. And Viper also has 43 villagers versus 37 to Max. So if you go for Viper Civ Tech and you go for Viper strategy, this is what you want. This is the ideal. Faster boom, faster relics. You accept you won't be able to fight your opponent easily. I think Viper will be very happy with this.
Oh, man, we've got Max. It looks like he does know about that relic in the south corner now, so he's going to pick that one up.
Yeah.
He's going over towards the eastern corner as well, but I'm sorry, Mr. Monk, your relic is gone from there, so it does make things a little bit sad for you.
Yeah.
But look at this. Conquistador is slowly getting positioned around the map, so we've got outposts coming up for the Max as well. So he's really looking for anywhere he can kind of find Viper doing anything, but the Monks are moving out now from Viper as well.
What? What? Who?
Petards?
Really? Overlay guy? Don't make me look bad.
I looked.
That's the co-caster's job. I was more focused on this and, I blame Overlay guy. I was just going to say, Aztec monks are no joke. Viper now has 3 conquistadors. That's not good.
Oh, man. And look at this. Viper can start pushing this back as well. He's looking for any damage he can. There is one petard there from the Max. So there is one under this town center. We've got the yeah from Felix, which is nice. Showing exactly what's up.
Yeah.
But those monk conversions, man.
That's huge.
It adds up so quickly. And look at this. They're nearly ready for another round.
Yeah. Wow. Aztecs versus Spanish. Historical matchup, by the way.
Let's hope it ends a little bit better.
Yeah, I think Viper's played this perfectly. It's not your traditional Regicide Fortress pick. I think he probably... Oh boy. Castle drop coming right between the stones. Wow. Max will want that stone long term. That is even if he wants to create conquistadors.
Viper's confident he can hold on to this as well. He's got a couple of conquistadors there, the monks. Oh, the petard though!
Please work.
Oh!
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
What? The Max! myth, the legend. He was ready for the push.
I've never seen that before.
The chat goes wild.
I mean, do we just give him the win? Because he's still behind.
Yeah. Overlay guy, tell him the series is over.
Oh my god. Well,
highlight roll. Someone start clipping.
You better make another one. You better make another one because Viper wants to build another castle.
There is another petard,
just build this a little bit. No. Is there?
It's over on the other side of the map right now.
Oh,
but
don't
it is
tease
there.
me like that, man. Don't tease me. I thought it was in the town center. I'm still not used to the controls here yet, so. Yeah, I mean, Viper converts another conquistador. He will get this castle up. He will take... Viper has more conquistadors than Max does right now.
We did see the monk convert, though, for the Max as well, so dwindling down those numbers a little bit.
Interesting.
These units are very confused.
They're like, Marv? Is that you? Ah! That's exactly how it went. Oh, yeah, now Viper could just run in. Oh, my God.
Here go the villagers.
Oh,
it takes so little conquistadors to one-shot a villager as well. As long as the pallets connect, yeah, it's an issue. But the Max, losing that map control, losing the conquistadors there, had a great castle snipe, but Viper was just ready to go again.
But do we care about winning tournaments, or do we care about individual highlights, which will last to the end of time?
We care about the moments. Put that one straight on the resume, right?
Yeah. I feel like tournament wins aren't as important. Viper might disagree. Slightly.
Viper again, moving around the map, just trying to find somewhere to do some damage with these conquistadors.
That's
Luckily
crazy,
for the
though.
Max, nothing you can really kind of find around this side to make things happen. Max throwing up a couple more monasteries, a couple of stables at home, so he needs to find a way to combat this one. I guess the big thing from Viper is it's not like he's throwing down Jaguar warriors or anything at this point.
All right, so Max researched Atonement. Can you check if he got Inquisition? Because no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. I mean, Atonement means that he will, well, we already saw it, he can convert Viper's monks. That's interesting. He is also banking up some resources to possibly go imp, but he's really far behind in villagers. So he's actually idling his town centers to save food, and he's trying to do that to get a fast imp time. Viper is almost 20 vills ahead of him, and Viper is already on his way. So if it is going to be a monk battle, as Viper snipes a monk over here in the south, I give a big advantage to Viper right now.
I'd say he's doing so well right now. He's just, minus the petard, he's pretty much got everything right at this stage. Yeah. He's locking down to the front of the map. He's denied that town center, so the boom's a little bit harder for the Max off the back of this as well. We have, 3 extra monasteries getting dropped in the back right now for Max. He's committed.
So if he didn't get Inquisition, he will. Did you see if he got it by chance?
Yep.
All right. So Inquisition, I believe the way it, what's it say in the tech tree? It increases the min-max time or decreases the min-max time, something. Monks convert faster is what it says. I know on Voobly it had more specific information for you. So you have Aztec monks, which get 5 extra HP for every monk tech. They have the additional relics, the fact that Viper's going to be imp faster, and then you have the Spanish monks, and missionaries possibly, that convert faster. I think you would prefer the Spanish monks if it was just a monk v monk war, because the HP wouldn't matter.
Yes. But when you've just got monks that act as such bulk behind that as well, it just means they're more likely to get those conversions that you're looking for.
Yeah, sorry about the speed here. We're back up to real time. And Viper's still using those conquistadors. Look at this. Spearman on the gold. Viper knows he has the map control now. Viper knows he's in a fantastic position. Look at Overlay Guy. So making us look smart. He says the min and max times needed for conversion are lowered by about 1 second for units and about 7 seconds for buildings. Awesome.
So as long as you're getting the conversions and your monks are staying alive, you're good. But in terms of the actual raw bulk, that's where it becomes an issue.
And there it is.
Dropping down second castle as well on the front, but Inquisition on the way.
Yeah, but I see a real problem here. If you're committing to monks against the Civ, which has more eco, more gold than you, and a Civ that gets Eagle Warriors, it's not going to fare too well. It should be an easy Eagle switch the second Viper sees what Max is up to. But then again, maybe if you have the Conks, Conquistadors are pretty strong against Eagles. It just has to work for Max early. It has to. He's too far behind. Down in relics, doesn't have the golds, and does not have the vill count either. Viper has 30 more villagers.
It just adds up so quickly. We've got Imperial Age clicking in for both players. Viper already got one of the trebuchets out.
The monks are changing sides. Oh no. Oh boy. Don't you hate that when they show up to your front door and start preaching to you? And then they get you, and then it's awkward. You go back to their side, back to yours. Yeah.
It's a bit of a walk.
I mean, I don't know how far I should go on with this joke because it's not my channel, so we're going to stop there.
BG13.
I caught my... Yeah, anyways.
But those trebs right now for Viper doing absolute work. The Max really has nothing he can kind of use to engage at this point. We do have the Max with that huge amount of monks in the back. He's got a couple of conquistadors still there, but he needs to find a way to engage us. And under the castles, it is so hard. We've seen Viper even go down with Bracer behind it, so 8+3 range on the castles. Those monks just struggle.
Yep, and there's Viper going for the barracks. So immediately upon seeing that his opponent has invested into the monks, he is going for the eagle switch, which we expected. He's also getting Garland Wars, which will give his eagles an additional +4 attack. Also, he will snipe this villager, who had built an outpost out there for Max. You know, big difference between these players. Viper likes to scout. Max just likes to build outposts. I find that to be an interesting difference.
Hey, he's done a good job with them so far. He's got a lot of aims. And this is one P-Tard. It just gets me. It's just wandering this right side of the map as well. I keep waiting for something to just happen with it. Yeah, there's one P-Tard just hanging out over here. I keep waiting for some kind of a play, but until he gets some more units over there, probably not.
Did he patrol that? Can you patrol P-Tards? You can? I mean, I guess you can.
Judging by this, he's not just shift-clicking that. There's no way.
I mean, come on, man. These guys are supposed to be good players.
We can check the POV if you really want to.
No, I mean, actually, no, he's probably not looking at that at all. I didn't know you could patrol them. That's crazy. Well, anyways, Viper's made the eagle switch. It's worth noting that Max researched Heresy. So what Heresy does, and this is very important, is any time that Viper would convert one of Max's units would just die instead of joining the enemy religion. But that doesn't help you against eagles, and also there's a lot of eagles coming out for Viper. That is way too many eagles. Viper has a huge lead. Max should realize here he needs conversions or he's dead. 9+5 attack for Viper will be +6 soon.
And there's so many barracks as well. The production's going to be huge, and it's just going to be one big swarm towards the base.
Yeah,
here we go.
This might be okay for now, but
second wave's already on the way.
The second wave is already on the way, exactly, and I just don't see it working.
Say goodbye to your trebuchets, the push has stopped, or at least the hold anyway, and there's the GG.
I think Max, well, GG hold, wait for it. There's the GG.
There's the official GG.
I think Max canceled Heresy. I don't think it would have made a difference. It's 1,000 gold, it's really expensive. Viper benefited from the map a little bit, we have to admit. Map was good.
Yes.
Does happen. Got the relics, had the boom faster, and Max's conquistadors. I think the conquistadors that Max created, that Viper then converted, did more damage against Max than Max did against Viper.
Yes, I agree. Waiting for all that to soak in. But yes, I do agree. It was one of those things where he used them to get the map control back and just did some damage in general with them, which whenever if you lose a unit, you don't want it used against you like that. And the thing is, with someone like Viper, going to convert the unit the moment that's in, he's just going to make it work. So it's just become so much harder to deal with.
Oh, I can see chat. It's not rigged. That's the first thing I saw. Better KD and better economy for the Viper. He just outplayed Max there, and he's up 2-1 now.
And he just needs one more to close us out. This is still best of 5. We're still in the group stage at this point. Viper already moving through, so this win at the moment, very much more important to Max than it is for Viper.
Yeah, Viper's already going through. But Viper's put on a good showing here. We kind of made the joke that he might want to watch Manchester United play. I don't know who would want to do that this year, to be honest. But he's played serious. He's played good. Maybe has gone with some different civ picks. I think Mayans, Chinese, a little bit more common there. Went Aztecs. It's not that Aztecs are bad. Aztecs are still good. I'm just a bit surprised by that one personally.
Yeah, and we'll be moving into a game number 4 as well, which is going to be the Max second home map. He does have Golden Pit to work with here. And what have we got going on in the chat?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Replay the P-Tard clip.
Chat's a scary place right now.
Oh, man. I'm going to go back and watch this VOD tonight for that and just see the chat go absolutely wild for that.
Yeah. Man, this light is interesting. I feel like DauT, like the clouds are going to part and DauT's just going to be up there like, oh. Yeah.
All right, and it looks like we are going into a game number 4 now as well, which will, of course, be Golden Pit.
Actually, I shouldn't have looked at the light now.
Harry,
don't look at the light.
We have the Viper playing as Vikings, and we have the Max as Slavs.
Yeah. This is an interesting civ matchup. Bear with me here. I have to get into the game. It's possible I might not be able to find it, so we're going to move over to his point of view. I know what I'm doing, yeah.
All right, so down towards the south of the map, we do have the Viper. Towards the north of the map, we do have TheMax.
All right. Vikings and Slavs, interesting. I can't tell you the last time I've seen this Civ matchup, but in the blue, there's Viper, and in the red, there's Max. For anyone who is confused, the players are not defeated. It is just a little bit of a bug we have here. And we got the scores, we have everything set up. What do you think about this Civ matchup, Turkman?
Again, it's one of those things where if Viper can kind of get all the holds that he wants, let that Viking eco really come into it, then he's going to be in a great position just to absolutely just whoop him, which is the big thing here. Because Viper's always looking for that hold, he wants a late game advantage, and then go from there. I guess on a map like Golden Pit, it makes it a little bit different, because he's only got the 2 gold spots, 3 golds on each of them before he needs to push out to the middle section. I have noticed this from the Finns in general, though. They will generally push out for that middle kind of straight away. So if he can lock that down, he'll be in a really good place. But Viper, if he can open aggressively, get into a fast castle situation, and then just boom up behind that, I'm liking the odds. I think it's more up to the Max at the moment to make something different happen here.
I'm thinking about the stages of the game in which these civs had success. Like Slavs, I don't think we know how strong they are right now, because everyone in the competitive scene was complaining about how broken they were with their farms. Then new expansion comes out, then it goes from 15% faster farming to 10% faster farming, and we haven't seen them picked as frequently. But still, it is faster farming than any other civilization. Still, they have all the monk techs they would need in Castle Age. So I feel like maybe Slavs in this matchup would ideally go monks and siege for the center, and Vikings actually don't have a strong answer to that. So I'm wondering if Viper will maybe try and get early damage in to slow down Max from getting to that mid-Castle Age. But then let's not forget, Vikings have probably a better overall economy than Slavs because of the free wheelbarrow, free handcart, which should not be overlooked. So I don't know. It's an interesting matchup. Both have infantry. They both have awesome options.
Yeah, I think probably from the Max, I'm really kind of expecting to see siege, monks, bit of pike behind that as well.
Yeah.
Push out, really try and put the pressure on Viper, because every game that's gone late at this point, the Viper's either been hard to break or he's won.
Yeah.
So I think the Max is starting to realize that, and Max is a super adaptive player in terms of the way he likes to play his games as well. So hopefully he's realizing this at the moment and knowing he kind of needs to go for the jugular really quickly.
Yeah, so there's always a balance you need to have on a map like this. So you have 6 tiles of gold. Map is Golden Pit again. Max has 3 tiles to the north, and then he has 3 tiles he's using as part of his wall. There's Viper's 3, very wallable. This is an amazing base for him again. This one maybe will be outside of his walls. But anyways, you need to be thinking about the center, and it's not easy to control the center because there's decline here. So if you're at the bottom of this hill fighting uphill, your opponent is receiving less damage. They're also doing more damage to you. So
opinion
it's risky.
time as well. Do you think it's worth it to go to the pit earlier or later? Do you want to be the one holding it, or the one that has to defend it, or the one that has to take it back?
Depends.
Depends?
It depends.
That's
yeah.
a famous quote.
It depends, right? Because if you go in too early, then you've invested. Let's just think about a town center cost: 275 wood and 100 stone. That's, if you don't have the military to stay there for very long, that's a waste. So it very much depends. And that's all about adapting. Like you said, Max Viper, they know what they're doing here. And we'll see. But I do know for Max, he needs to win this to continue this best of 5, right? I'm just wondering what their opening is going to be, because it always depends. You always have to adapt. How does Max open here? He's walling a lot. Is this going to be a feudal age? Or are you going to see man-at-arms? Or is he just going to wall and go for Castle Age?
I think wall and Castle Age is kind of what we expect at this point. We've
like
seen a couple of maps on Golden Pit now. The reason I was asking is because we had Yo with an interview before, and the first thing is they asked is, why did you go straight to the center? And he goes, it's Golden Pit, you go to the center. So
yeah, that's a typical pro player answer there, man.
So it'll be interesting to see if we do have the Max or Viper kind of sitting with that vibe as well. We do just have the Viper POV up at the moment as well. Looks like we do have a little bit of a scout fight here into the middle of the map.
Yeah.
So going to get a little bit going on, lose a little bit of that HP, but both players going for the full walls at this stage.
Max needs to pull his villager over here. There you go. Max needs to pull his Vill. Viper will lose his scout.
That's it. The walls are done.
I mean, it's possible he can make it back to his base, but oh nope, the walls are finished. Yeah, that scout's going to die. That was a little bit of an overextension there from the Viper. Also, I am allergic to full walls, so if I sneeze, I'm sorry. I actually do have a sneeze coming, so just a heads up. Just find the mute button on this thing.
I believe in you.
You should wait till we see towers. Sneeze an awful lot more.
So both players at the moment looking for that fast castle starting to play. The big thing here, the Viper losing that scout, it means he kind of can't keep an eye out for that villager that's going to come forward from the Max, which is kind of his play style. He likes that forward villager when he can get away with it. So it means Viper's got to be feeling a little bit more on edge now as well.
Well, Max is on his way to feudal, so this is not FC, but I believe I don't foresee him being extremely aggressive because he does not have a barracks. So I think Max, instead of going for fast castle, wants to go for all of his eco-techs. He'll probably get double bit axe, horse collar, farm like crazy with all of these villagers on stragglers. And then Viper is going for straight fast castle. Now, if it's fast castle crossbow and Viper's up faster, Max won't have anything but walls to defend. And that could be that map control that Viper would need throughout the start of early Castle Age.
Do you think Viper's ambitious enough to go for that straight away, even though the fact he's lacking a scout? I mean, he's going to see the feudal age timing from the Max, so he's going to feel a little bit safer with it.
I mean, there's really no other option, right? You don't want to go for knights with Vikings.
Yep.
You don't want to go for siege monk with Vikings. So it's probably going to be crossbow. And you see Viper now getting loom, 27 villagers. When he does arrive in feudal age, which will be soon, or in 2 minutes, he's going to have free wheelbarrow to help. Vikings are one of the best fast castle crossbow civs, because typically with a fast castle strategy, your eco is very weak because you lack wheelbarrow. They get that in feudal, and then they also get free handcart in Castle Age.
It's absolutely huge that speeds him up. The Max as well, abusing that slab farming bonus, getting a whole heap down there as quickly as possible. And of course, we do have... What's he done here? Oh, they're just hiding behind. I was like, is he really just bailed out on this? Yeah, I was looking at that as well. I was like, oh no, he's just got units bailing behind there. It's all right.
You have to look at the go... Man, so... One of these times, someone is going to hide behind a building. I mean, this is going to have to be fixed at some point, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Game's still relatively new, but you could easily just stay there, like, shh, don't move. And then the units pass. It could be knights, archers, whatever. Yeah, I thought that Viper had maybe transferred off of the goat, and I was confused.
I was just as confused. There was a stutter there. I was like, well, what's he doing over here? But no, slab farm's coming up for the Max as well. Really trying to push that bonus. Starting to get on gold back home as well.
Yeah.
And feudal age about to kick in for him any second here.
Yeah, so for Max, if you don't take a lot of damage in early Castle Age, your eco is going to be really good. He researched horse collar, so all of these farms have additional food. Viper does not have that luxury. It's a bit of a clash of the economies here, isn't it? Because one person's going for feudal age eco, one person's going for fast castle with the free eco techs. Yeah, but anyways, I think it's very important that Max keeps an eye on things and knows what Viper's up to. I'm curious to see where Viper will build his archery range. I think he'll build it behind. Yeah, he's hiding
He doesn't want to give that away.
That's really smart. Can we go to Max's point of view?
We absolutely can. I believe his point of view too. Boom, nailed it. First shot.
Okay. So he's scouting the center. He's building a barracks. That's interesting. You know what's cool about this block mod is it does show you how much is left of each resource with the block.
I only found that out the other day, and it actually kind of freaked me out a little bit. I didn't realize they kind of shrank with the resource usage.
Yeah, I mean, on Age of Empires 2DE, you can make it possible to show HP bars on resources. That can be really confusing. Most pros will just click it and check. But, okay, Max is building a barracks. He's building a stable, and then a blacksmith. So Max will actually... I like this move. He's not going to go too passive. He is planning on making some military upon arriving to Castle Age.
If we check out Viper's POV, however, he's actually going down with a double archery range blacksmith behind that as well. He's on his way up to Castle Age, so he's looking like he's going to be at a pretty strong spot here to get that bulk of crossbows out he needs to actually challenge that knight production.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very tight build Viper has to have here. 8 on gold, so 4 on gold per each range is the norm. Sometimes you'll see them float a 9th. And then he'll be getting fletching for sure. And I believe Viper will probably not add any second or third town centers for a couple minutes after Castle Age. Because if you invest all this, you go fast castle and try and go 2 archery ranges, archers, and also town centers, your eco is going to be weaker because of it, and your attack's going to be weaker. So you got to commit to the attack, do well with that attack, and then your economy will be stronger later on.
Exactly. So it's about just taking those efficient trades and really finding something for these crossbows to do now. Looking over towards TheMax's base, he's pretty well walled off, so he's going to have to kind of crack through some of these palisades to really be able to get in there and do some damage and really make it worth it, besides just taking the map control. Because if we look at this gold and this wood, the woods aren't bad, but they're not in the best location they could be, not right in the back. But the gold's just looking super safe. Yeah,
Max's scout is so important here. So important. I think he saw the barracks, so he's expecting it. Now he sees it. Now he sees it. And instant reaction from Max, so he can keep this scout alive for other things throughout the game. Now he knows what Viper is up to. Now, how much Max invests into dealing with this is important. Like, what I'm thinking, are we back here? Yeah, here we go.
We can come back.
Anyways, so if Max overinvests, if he freaks out too much and starts making 2 stable knights and mangonels, Viper will say, all right, well, he's invested an awful lot into killing just 6 crossbows. I'm going to go for 3 TCs behind it and gain an eco lead. So you need to strike a balance here. Both of them do, between economy and military. And also, you got to start thinking about where will the extra town centers be. There's the second one for Viper. I have to say, really impressive like FC from him. But Viper has not gone. You notice how Viper does not have Bodkin Arrow? So he's going second TC. Bodkin Arrow costs 200 food, 100 gold. He's going for the eco instead of the military upgrades, and this might give Max some control.
Max has gone down with that second stable as well. He did kind of want to react to this in turn, which has been nice. Monastery coming up behind that as well. So he knows what he wants to do.
Max will also have +2 armor. So Viper's army has
huge.
Viper's army will have no chance. Even with Bodkin, they would have no chance. And see, Viper, he knows this. Or at least he senses it. He goes, all right, I've gone for the passive play. I've gone for the eco approach. The last thing I want is to lose my numbers. So he's going to go home and create units. Man, this is such an important thing because Viper will gain an economic lead, but he's not going to fall behind in military like he could have if he stayed forward. Just looking for a greedy Vil pick or 2.
Yeah, he was moving out with that initial force that he had. Now, moving back to base, he can work up to that bulk of crossbows that he really wants. He gets up the defensive monastery as well, so going to help him even counter the knights further from here. And Bodkin just on the way now.
But Max is adding his second town center, so it's delayed. But I also like Max's town center more because it is on that other gold. Remember, players have 6 tiles. Viper's 3 tile is here. Now, if it's knights and mangonel versus crossbows and monks, there's one very important thing Viper will do, and Viper will hope to get conversions on any knights from Max. And oh boy, Viper, he does have Bodkin Arrow. Can he micro this? I think he probably can, but that extra armor for Max is really helpful. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Max's units are not all engaging. Viper just picked the right time to come forward. He could possibly deny the TC if he continues to work his way forward. Well, what I was going to say is, if there's siege for Max, and Max will bail on the TC, this is huge for Viper, then the strategy is to hopefully convert a knight or 2 and use that knight to snipe mangonels. Man, this is less than ideal for Max. If the TC
not what
went
he was
up,
looking for right now. Second TC does get dropped in the back, so he can at least keep that production up, which is kind of nice for the Max. So he can kind of keep that one moving at the moment. But those monks getting healed up there in the knights. So, oh, but look at that. Viper's in. He's looking for blood here, but it might be a little bit too much of a commitment.
Well, he's going to run in. He'll snipe the monk, or try to. He actually fails to. Here he can sit in the choke if he wants. But yeah, I think Viper needs to just play safe. You delay your opponent's second town center when you're already on 2, and now you add a 3rd, you know you're ahead. Yeah. So just chip away at your opponent. Snipe a Vil, snipe a knight, convert a knight, just small things. It's never about all-in pushes with Viper. It's never about all-in pushes with the best players in the game. It's about slow, progressive builds.
Chip them away, build yourself up behind it, and then just give them basically no chance but to resign.
Yeah. Now, Viper there's really no way of escaping here now. And so I don't know if I agree with this. Like right after I said, don't overinvest, chip away at your opponent, he dives in and he does convert a knight. Really curious to see how good the crossbows do against these knights. With DE, the pathing is different. I'm not sure if it's worse in many cases. It might just be different, but the melee units or any unit can block really easily, so it's hard to get surrounds. But man, Viper, why not just run back there, you know?
I just want to add as well some amazing play by the Max. As soon as those units start to get wounded as well, he actually pulled them out of the fray.
Yeah, like, but then good play from Viper. Viper had 2 crossbows remaining, knew his units were as good as dead, and he sniped the monk. And that monk was healing those knights.
Villager pop, though, we're still looking at a little bit of an advantage here for Viper, 56 compared to 45. Military, though, majoritively cleaned up, which means the Max can use that mobile of the Knights, essentially, move out across the map, try and take some damage, but Viper spots the forward Villager.
Oh, can he take the forward Villager out, though? He will take the forward Villager out, I believe. Actually, no.
The Knights save it just in time.
Yeah, but this is dangerous, man. So Vikings have free hand cart right now. It's not just the villager count. It is also the fact that the villagers are a lot more efficient for the Vikings. And so you see Viper adding a third and a fourth range. He'll start producing out of all of them. This is the stage of the game where I talked about earlier. If Vikings have the lead, they're going to snowball it. If Slavs have the lead, they're likely going to snowball it. And this is also where Viper can start thinking about taking that precious gold in the center.
There's just so many archery ranges getting dropped down now for Viper as well. His production's going to be absolutely off the chain. So the Knights pushing into this, we're going to have to see some serious numbers from Max or a really, really good engagement. Then behind that, the siege to back it up.
Yeah, Viper is producing so much right now that he's getting housed. That's when you know you're crazy. You have 3 TCs producing, 4 ranges producing, you need houses. Now go to Max's point of view. Now Max is not going to float a lot of food. He's not going to float a lot of gold because he's producing knights constantly. And he can't even get a siege. He can't even get a siege workshop up, much less a Maganel out. And man, these conversions that Viper got, these 2 conversions with knights with armor, it's huge because Max will struggle to use any Maganels if Viper has these knights to snipe them.
Other thing to note as well, Max starting to slowly run out of the gold in the back of his base as well. He's only got about 300 left there, so if Viper can keep just getting rid of any kind of advantage that Max can have to take it under the TC, just putting pressure on like this, it just makes a huge amount of difference right now for Viper with his gold army.
Yeah, I wonder if Viper is going to go to the center now, or if Viper's going to plan for a castle. Yeah, he's TC'd this stone. This is really smart thinking. He's definitely going to be an Imperial Age faster. He knows that Max is going to push him. So kind of similar to earlier where he went in, chipped away, and ran back. Here, he's doing the same, but he's probably going to try and stabilize with a castle. Now, I don't know about you, Turkman, but I would not suggest him build the castle, his first castle in the center. I think that the better play is to probably build a castle where these villagers are right now, protect your base, and then once you're in the Imperial Age, and Max will not be, then you secure the center quite easily with your army.
Look, it's definitely the way Viper likes to play his games, which is a big thing. Play it a little bit more defensively. He doesn't like risking it and all kind of out hits.
Watch this knight.
Oh, no.
The Viper, yeah, look, see the difference? Doink.
Amazing.
Beautiful split. Viper runs back.
And the Max is stuck having to wait for that next one. But Viper, he might be playing it a little bit differently to what you thought there. I think a foundation for a castle is about to come down with those forward villagers. Viper's out for blood.
That is a confident castle, but that's also a castle that could throw your lead. He has such a huge lead, though. Max needs to fight now. Will Viper be out of position, though? There's a Maganel, and there's knights coming in on the right for the Max. A Viper will quickly gate. He also... Oh, the monks need conversions for Viper.
He gets one, but it gets taken out pretty quickly there over on the side.
That castle is not going up. I think this was a bad play from Viper. A little DauT-esque, and Viper also needs to keep his crossbows alive. This is so risky, man. This was his time to just hold and defend, but he went for the ballsy castle. Can he hold on now? Still 20 more vills, still 40% of the way to the Imperial Age, but now I think Max could consider running out to that gold.
Yeah, this is going to keep Max in the game a lot longer now. That castle was kind of really starting to close things out. But with the Max taking it out as well as he did there, denying it entirely, he has the Mangonels alive now. The engagement was great for him chipping away at Viper's crossbow numbers immensely. This is where the fact we're even seeing some Knight raids behind us as well.
Micro nerd. Boom. Stonewall. Stonewall again. Viper needs to get this TC up. Oh my goodness. This is so risky. I think the TC's going up. Oh, is it going to go up? Oh no! Oh no! It might be denied!
Oh,
it will be denied! That's huge! Viper is almost out of gold at home.
And that's 2 major deniers as well. The Max is actually starting to move forward in front of that castle with his own villagers now, so it looks like he's got a little bit of a play behind this as well.
Max, get this skirms here, man. Get a lead skirm and bring the Maganel. Don't attack the castle foundation. Get behind the crossbows. See, Viper was still able to get some good hits on the knights. He didn't lose that many vills. I think that was Max's opportunity to use this army and surround Viper's army before Viper gets that power spike. And Viper's still going to get Bracer and probably Chemistry, maybe Arbalest, and he's able to get to the gold if that's the case. So, man, I think Max was really far behind. He needed 3 good moments there, and he had 2. I'll see what he can
with
do
Viper
now.
clicking into the Imperial Age now, so actually clicking over. We've got the Max at the moment nowhere near the resources he needs to. So Viper's going to be ready to start pushing everything he's got into military, locking down the key positions. The Max still has to worry about going up into Imperial Age, so that's where things become a little bit tricky here for him.
Is he ever going to get Elite Skirmisher? He's getting Bodkin, he doesn't have armor. There's a lot of upgrades Max is missing right now. And Viper has Arbalest. This is the easiest bit of micro Viper will have in his life. Arbalest against Mangonels. Easy does it. The skirms don't have upgrades. I mean, this is my favorite part of a Gold Rush or Golden Pit game, where players are forced to go all in Castle Age against the other player who's an imp. But Viper has more Vills, and he's an imp.
And he takes down the monks as well there, just gets a nice engagement.
Very well done.
And he's just dictating this so well now too, because he's got that extra range. Anything that wants to kind of come in, take an engagement against him,
it's a good
you're
fight
going to
for
lose
Max.
a couple units in the way in.
It's a good fight for Max, though. And Viper doesn't have the front of his base secured. Nice Mangonel shot for Viper. But Max, where's your Elite Skirmisher upgrade, man? No Elite Skirmisher, no armor. Oh, it feels like too little, too late. And is it too little, too late in the series now? Viper out there on the gold, so he will have more Arbalest. His castle will probably go up. It's not a great sign for Max at all.
Yeah, Max is going to really start to struggle back at home. He's still got over 1,000 gold left, so he's got a bit to work with behind this. But once that dries up, he needs to get into the center. And without Imperial and Viper just going to be able to start to chip away at his fortifications with Trebs, the engagements just become so hard to take.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tools for Vikings here, too. If Max wants to go all in Knights, Vikings could make their pikemen with Chieftains, which gives them a bonus against Cav. You know, normally in this situation, the player who has gone imp faster will have less villagers, but the gold. Viper has more villagers and the gold. Viper has a firm lead, firm grasp on this game right now.
And he's just got a great staging point with that castle as well. He can just retreat to it whenever he's in trouble. Until then, push out with the Arbalest, pick off a couple of villages, pick off a couple of skirms, whatever he can, just whittle away at the Max and just pull himself further and further ahead.
Man, I feel like Max did have a moment there, though. I felt like he had a moment when his skirms were attacking Viper's Castle Foundation to maybe get us around. Like with Elite Skirm Knight, I think you could trade before Viper gets the upgrades, but now I just don't see it. In fact, I don't see the numbers that he's even thinking about fighting with. I think he's looking for a lucky Mangonel shot or two. Viper might know that. He still doesn't have Elite Skirm. Do you think? Oh, wait, no, it's on the way now. Sometimes, since this is a newer game, it's hard for people to distinguish and know the difference between the units. Watch, Viper will run with this. It's very likely that he will lose this army, but he's getting good value from it, and he was definitely going to have another wave in behind.
And like I was saying earlier, the Viper can afford to lose this army at this stage. He's just trying to take the best engagements he can, get as many units out of it, because really the Max is the one here that's struggling to get any kind of bulk up, get the resources in, and even then he still needs to save for Imperial.
Yeah, and we're going to see one of my favorite units, I believe. The Berserk. Viper's getting infantry upgrades. He is not making pikemen, so I believe he's going to go for Arbs and Berserks. Berserks in combination with the Arbalest will be perfect. They will shred those skirmishers. They will also take care of the Knights, believe it or not. If they are elite, they will kill everything. And you're seeing it now. It's not even needed. I think we're getting very close to the end of this best of 5.
The Max, of course, going to hold out as best he can here, because it is the end of the series for him.
Castle.
Oh, this is
interesting.
Big from the Max. I mean, he's got the elite skirms there. He's got his battering rams to be able to hold this down with a couple of knights as well.
30 Vills for Viper in the center. Max is still struggling to the Arbs that Viper has, but okay. I mean, this is probably the best thing you can do if you're the Max. Probably your best play, because if you try and defend, I mean, but
that doesn't help.
It doesn't help, right? But it's better than trying to fight the Arbs, because that's a losing battle, I think.
Yeah.
It would just be Berserk and Arbalest. So this at least makes things awkward for Viper, and you get some access to gold too.
Viper's already got that one trebuchet out in the play, though, so I think he'll be taking down that castle pretty quickly. But like you were saying, this is the Max's play.
I think it's the best thing that he can do.
He's losing a lot of units back at home with those Arbs just sitting behind so many of the resource piles there, but overall, the push, it will mean the Max has access to a little bit of gold again. He will have a little bit of a lockdown in the center there.
For how long,
trebuchet, that's it. It's just going to cut him down so quickly. He's got the Arbs behind it to keep it protected. And it's basically just the Max just basically trying to stand up at this point.
If this was a game 1, Max would have already resigned. But
Yes.
since it's a best of 5 and Viper's up 2-1, Max is
Just
going
looking
nowhere
over
for
the
now.
difference as well, we've got 60 villages basically an advantage at the moment for the Viper. Military counts Viper's lead as well.
Yeah,
Tech advantage is Viper's lead, and he's taking back the center.
He hasn't created a single berserk either. He's just getting upgrades. Vikings are sick, man. Vikings are sick.
Well, that's it. If they're played like this, they're just absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, they're a great pick.
And look at
GG's
that.
called.
The GG, the castle in the middle, does fold. It was good play from Max, but just a little bit too late, sadly.
So, it was all about early castle age. Max went 2 stables. He went for the monastery. He went for TC. Viper's TC was delayed by... sorry, did I say Viper? I meant to say... Max's
Yes,
TC was delayed by 5 minutes. Viper was on 3 town centers. Viper took an economy lead. Viper then took wise fights, massed his units, and then that translated to a faster imp. He was so confident that he went for a DauT-style castle forward, and it was a DauT castle. It failed, and it didn't matter.
That pretty much sums it up really uniquely as well. I think the big thing was the Viper hit his ranges. He moved in across. We only had the 1 stable from Max then as well. So Max did play quite reactively. It may not have been the game he wanted to play here and the game he'd practiced. But in the end here, Viper playing very, very strong. And the Max being forced out to resign.
I honestly think if he just delays the TC another 30 seconds, or sends 2 or 3 more villagers to build it, it's probably better than doing what he did there. But it's easy to say now. More food, wood, stone, and gold collected for the Viper, and Viper wins 3-1.
That's it. We have 1 more series left after this, and I believe you're casting as well.
I am.
Would you prefer to do the interview or hang out with the chat?
I think you would be a much better interviewer than I am. I'll hang out with the chat. I'm also going to get some water, if that's okay. So I stay here.
Oh, see, this is service.
I have to entertain? Is that
Man,
what?
you can just hang out. You know
I
they
thought
love
I was
you.
a guest of honor. All right.
All right. I'll be back in a sec in the other room.
You give me tissues as well? Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. What's up, chat? Man, so I didn't see TaToH yet, actually. Can I hug him before we start? Is that too Kappa Pride?
No. Never.
Okay, I have to entertain. Sorry. I have not seen Tati yet. Tati was apparently at the hotel. I could barely see chat. I can see the emotes. I could see some regular names. Hello, guys. I think Felix is going to bring up the chat. I'll try and say hello. Yay! Are you still sick? All right, good luck, man. He heard me. What's up, man?
Hey, chat. Oh, how you feeling? Feeling good?
I'm sick.
Yeah, let's go.
Nice. I didn't switch out the emote. I didn't want to switch out Dave's emote to the non-Christmas version because I knew people would, for the 10 minutes I was switching it, miss out on it.
Take your headphones, Turkman.
I didn't even use my headphones for game 1.
Oh, you didn't even get to listen to that music. Oh, I'm muted.
Are you muted?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that. Anyways, hello, chat. Oh, yes. We are going to the interview next with BBQTurkman and, is it TheViper or TheMax? Either one.
There's no go message. Well, we said go.
I'm back on the couch with Viper after another convincing win. Always nice to see what he has to bring to the table there. Everything as well, pretty convincing. I want to ask you a couple of questions about the games, but it seems like most of it went pretty to plan. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the civilization matchups were a little bit strange here and there. But yeah, all in all, I think my plans and strategies kind of worked out, and I am satisfied with the performance.
Man, that's absolutely perfect. It's nice to see what you kind of brought to the table. A couple of the newer civilizations as well, which we haven't seen a lot of competitive play with. So the pick with Lithuanians as well. What was the game plan there? Because the big problem we kind of had that we were seeing is it was kind of a little bit of a struggle to transition out of the cavalry archers. Is there anything you think you could have done better there, or was that something you just kind of found yourself in a little bit of a hole with?
I was hoping he would go for Mayans or another civilization, not Celts. Celts was almost the worst possible scenario because I wanted to use the fast-moving skirms. and then get 3 or 4 relics, so I could use the like knights as well. But as I was up against Celts, then both Lightis and knights suddenly didn't make sense. So I didn't really get to use that bonus. It doesn't affect cavalry, like a light cav anymore. So that's too bad. I'm not sure what I could have done differently. Maybe gotten a 4th relic. I don't know. I did. My eco was never 100% perfect. I never had like 140 vills, which I guess I should have had. Then I could have maybe made champions earlier. I don't know. He played really well, and I don't know what else I should have done there.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where it was a little bit hard to kind of transition out of. We did see an awesome use of hill forts as well with the extra range on the town center. Kept you alive in the game for a long time versus the Halberdiers. So you played the Civ really well. I think it was just that transition that made things a little bit difficult there. But getting away from the losses overall, against TheMax, we're feeling confident going into it straight away because he's had some amazing games here, but you've not really even dropped a game at this point, so you must feel confident going in. How did you feel coming up against TheMax? Was there anything you knew you really needed to be careful for? Because he's one of those players that really goes for forward villages, sneaky strategies, things like that you may not have been prepared for?
Well, going up against Max is pretty much like expect the unexpected in certain scenarios. I knew he would probably go for Persians again because of how he went against Liereyy. And all the other maps, I figured, okay, I don't really know what to expect, so I'm going to choose something that is a little bit more balanced, like just like generic or something like that. So I actually had like a wider tech to work with and like a wider range of counters. So like Aztecs on the Register Fortress, for example, I was still expecting Chinese or Mayans, possibly Cumans. I was thinking about going Spanish myself as well, but I didn't expect him to go it. When he went Spanish, I was quite happy because Aztecs are just better in Fortress against Spanish.
So talking about Fortress, which is a shame, because this is probably going to be like the highlight from the absolute matchup in general. Yeah. You did take the game, didn't win the highlight though. That Peter, were you worried when it kind of knocked the castle out?
I saw it came out. I didn't think it would be able to destroy the castle though. I was just chilling. They're like, okay, petard, well, whatever. But then my castle disappeared, so kind of backfired a little bit. But I already felt like I was in a good position then, and knowing that I had at least 3 relics as well, I figured I can just buy another castle fast enough. And
yeah, you were in a strong enough position that you did get that extra castle up, so it kind of did delay you, but didn't stop you. But I think an absolute highlight reel there from that one. And then
for sure,
moving on as well into Vikings pick on Golden Pit. Did you expect the matchup to go the way it did? Because it seems like you had a pretty clear plan in there. You hid the archery ranges, came out and really pushed for the archers to really do some damage, or at least a reaction from the Max, which you got. He dropped an extra stable behind it straight away, a monastery. Were you expecting him to kind of play that eco game and then just wanted to kind of pull him out of it, or...?
Well, first I was expecting Slavs or Malians, and he went Slavs. So I figured, okay, Vikings. Usually Golden Pit tends to have fairly safe maps. And I got a very easy wall map as well, so I was lucky there. But yeah, when I scouted him already being fully walled at like 7-8 minutes, so I figured I'll just ignore my drush and just go straight fast castle with great eco and just take it from there. Also, he didn't make anything in feudal age, so for me it was pretty much just like I got to play the perfect game. And obviously I wanted to put some pressure. I think if I stayed around in early castle age, he might have killed me with the first couple of knights, but I grouped up, added a monk and such, so yeah, the pressure from there was really good, and I felt in control of the game.
Fantastic. So only one more question before you go, because we are getting towards the end of the group stage here. Who do you think's kind of in the best form overall, using the best strategies out of the people that we've got here?
I want to say DauT, but no.
DauT, but no?
No. I was impressed with LaaaN's decisions earlier today. He played really well today, but
the Vietnamese pick? That was crazy.
Yeah, that was, I think TaToH, Hera, Liereyy, probably... Max as well has been playing. I mean, it's hard to pick anyone. They're all playing well. But Hera's playing well. TaToH's doing really well as well. And then I still feel a bit bad for Liereyy regarding that computer. I feel like he had a tough round there. But also Max is playing really well, so it's tough to say exactly. It's going to be really exciting the last day either way.
I'm excited to see who gets there as well. So thank you so much for having a chat. We'll let you go about your night right now. And I'll send it back over to Dave and